Vincent Harper on the left. Three midfielders, Brandon Cumley with Jamie Jellis and Charlie Lakin, and a front two of Aaron Pressley and Daniel Carnu, who is on loan from Charlton and has been in good scoring form this season as Carnu. 12 goals already. Even talk that Charlton may recall him. Walsall have lost three other players this week who were on loan and have been recalled by their parent clubs. We're underway. Walsall attacking the Barclay end in their red and black striped shirts, white shorts, white socks. They've put the ball straight onto the edge of the Norwich penalty area, and the Canaries in yellow and green have cleared it out for a throw-in. You know that Walsall will be up and at 'em. They have only won one of their last 5 matches, but they are currently in the automatic promotion places from League 2, pushing for League 1. And we're going to get Priestley Farquharson here with an early long throw-in from the right-hand side to try and test Norwich's defensive mettle. How much are they up for the cup? There is a long looping throw. Norwich get their head on it. Quiscar and back defending clears it further upfield. They've dealt with that first threat. It's the sort of thing you are used to seeing on FA Cup third round weekend, isn't it? The lower ranked team having the player with the long throw as Jurasek hooks one forward. Some defending now for Walsall to do, but with Harper the left wing back, they've done it really well. They're in possession halfway inside their own half, playing it up towards the halfway line. McConville goes in for a challenge. Carnu slips, and then Norwich have got a chance here to move the ball forward with Matson out towards the right hand side. Jurasek's got Stacey on the overlap, low cross from him. The defender Weir gets on it for Walsall, and with the left foot doesn't take any chances, clears his lines. It comes back to McConville on halfway. Matson captaining Norwich City today, the Danish midfielder who's been so impressive, particularly since Philippe Clement arrived with those all-action midfield performances. Norwich back in possession on halfway with Cresceni back to Cordoba, and Norwich, you can see, just trying to get some early control in this cup tie, not give the visitors from Walsall any encouragement. They tried to get it with that early long throw in. I could see you licking your lips there, Rob.
and to be fair to Walsall, I know the captain of Walsall, Aidan Flint, I mean, he's such a threat in the opposition boxes, whether it be a long throw in a corner. So he's going to be a major threat in set pieces for Walsall today. And Norwich have to be again, what we said earlier, have to be really strong and match him for his aggressiveness in the box.
Yeah, 6'6", Aidan Flint, more than 250 championship appearances, so he certainly won't be overawed by coming to Carrow Road. We should just point out it's not as busy here at Carrow Road as it usually is for a championship match day. The top tiers, the second tiers of the two stands behind the goals aren't open today, but the tickets that were available look to have sold pretty well. Prices reduced to try and get some supporters in who perhaps don't usually have the opportunity to come, with so many season ticket holders at Carrow Road, and quite a few braving the very chilly January conditions, but you'd expect nothing less on FA Cup third round day. Norwich in possession on the edge of their own penalty area with Rory McConville. He finds Cresceni, and now it comes to Makama, who started on the left wing today for Norwich City. Makama setting off infield, loses possession, and here's a chance for Walsall with Carnu that runs into Cordoba. Cordoba just stood his ground there. Carnu goes down, but it's not a foul. Matson, though, has some defending to do, and puts the ball out for a throw-in under pressure from Connor Barrett. You can see how lively Carnu is. He's on loan from Charlton. 12 goals already this season. Barrett on the right-hand side by the corner flag, teasing Matson, who sticks to his task well, and out it goes, and we could get another one of these long throw-ins here. Rob, do you fancy?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what you can do in Makama, then bringing the ball in field, losing possession cheaply against Walsall, you cannot give Walsall any free tickets really to come forward and whatever. And like you say, they're playing for these set pieces as well in the final third.
Here comes a long throw-in then. Priestley Farquharson, in front of the Walsall fans, who are very vocal early on, throws the ball into the penalty area. Again, Norwich deal with it well. It breaks towards the halfway line where, because Norwich have brought everybody back, it's easy for Walsall to pick it up. Glad you mentioned Walsall's set-piece threat. 32 league goals this season Walsall have scored, and 13 of them have come from set plays. So there are several ways to win a football match.
Absolutely.
And certainly under Matt Sadler, he's got them going from set plays. They had a really interesting season last year, Walsall. They were the leaders right up until the halfway point of the season, looked odds on for promotion.
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah.
Then they lost Nathan Lowe, who they had on loan from Stoke. He was recalled by Mark Robbins, and their form tailed off, and they ended up getting to the playoff final and losing that. But they haven't got too much of a hangover. They're still up there battling for promotion once again, but just a bit of a wobble in recent weeks. One win in their last 5. Norwich City, of course, lost their last 2 home matches, despite the better performances under Philippe Clement. Matson breaking up another Walsall attack, 0-0. And here's Jacob Wright, who does actually seem to be playing more in the Kenny McLean role today, alongside Matson, with Slimani up in the number 10 position. Here's Cresceni bringing it forward for Norwich City, rolls it towards the left-hand side and picks out Jovan Makama, still inside his own half. Makama settles for the ball back to Cordoba. And now Walsall getting compact and trying to prove difficult for Norwich to break through. Stacey threads it forward on the right hand side. There's a flip from Slimani. Quisgaran comes to life, but he's got 4 defenders around him, and it's going to be a bit of a task for him today, I think. Centre forward without Sargent in the squad and with McCalmer on the wing, and when you're a centre forward and you're up against 3 centre backs, he's going to have an interesting afternoon's work, isn't he?
I think initially in the first opening 5 minutes of the game, I think Norwich have been a bit lethargic and pedestrian with their passing as well. They need to move it quicker, get it forward quicker. Because, like I say, Walsall look quite comfortable in the early stages when it's defending against Norwich offensive attacks.
Yeah, 5 minutes in, no real chances yet. A couple of long throw-ins the Walsall have tested the Norwich defence with. Here comes Jacob Wright for Norwich City. Quickly wide to the left, and McCalmer, who takes on Barrett, the wing-back, cuts in field. Gives it back to Jacob Wright, who is just dropping into that position that Kenny McLean so often takes up for Norwich City. McConville now gives it to Stacey on the right-hand side. Stacey forward on the right-hand side to Jurasek, who will bend the cross in early. McCalmer's going to challenge the goalkeeper, but keeper Miles Roberts, who got on loan from Watford, easily takes it. First bit of difficult goalkeeping for him to do. Norwich have made a change in goal today as well, and Grimshaw now might be tested because they've got it up towards Pressley here, on his own, up towards the edge of the penalty area. McConville shadowing him all the way. Pressley crosses from the right-hand side, and by the time he does, Norwich have got players back. But a bit alarming there for the home fans as to how quickly Walsall were able to break and have Pressley one-on-one with McConville. Walsall, encouraged by that, have got Jellis involved on the right wing now. In front of him is Connor Barrett. That's a poor ball inside. Slimani back on the edge of his own penalty area for Norwich City. Plays a nice little pass through here to Jurasek, still inside his own half. Quisgaran's made a run forward. Jurasek though instead, but will bide his time and then play away McCalmer on the left wing. McCalmer up towards the corner of the Walsall penalty area. Tries a step over here, Jovan McCalmer. Now crosses and it's cleared away, but it might fall for Jurasek. Heavy touch, couldn't control. And Walsall have cleared it away. McCalmer had a decent spell in the FA Cup last year. He got 3 goals in 3 games in the FA Cup last season for Lincoln. Scored against Chesham and against Crawley and against Birmingham. So while Norwich haven't had a lot to shout about in the FA Cup in recent years, Jovan McCalmer last year certainly did have his scoring boots on in this wonderful competition. 0-0. Norwich just starting to make a mark on this game for the first time on BBC Radio Norfolk. 7 minutes played. McConville to Jack Stacey, once an FA Cup quarter-finalist with Bournemouth. Now Slimani's made a good run out to the right-hand side. Gives it back to Jurasek. And now here's McConville on halfway. And it's noticeable how deep Walsall are sitting when Norwich have got possession. Wright trying to find the pass through, but it's wayward and behind for a goal kick. So we can see what Walsall are going to do. How do Norwich break it down? They
move the ball quicker. They make runs from midfield beyond the defence when they can, when the ball's deeper, so it gives them space for the pass from a deeper position from Norwich defenders or deep line midfielders to put the ball in the space. So they have to move the ball quicker, get it forward quicker, a bit more positive. And we just saw McCalmer 1v1 with his opponent then, and he beat him, got a good decent crossing as well. So it goes to show that people like McCalmer have got the beating of a player in a one-on-one situation.
Just making those happen, isn't it? Philip Clement over on the far side, well wrapped up today. He's got a black baseball cap on and a black and white checkered scarf, and he's watching his team try to build another attack now with Crescene looking for McCalmer on the left-hand side. Good defending though from Priestley Farquharson, just to see it out for a Walsall throw-in back in their right-back position. Priestley Farquharson, we've seen him taking the long throw-ins. They got him from Newport. He's actually an England international at beach soccer, which suggests he's probably used to warmer climes than Carrow Road in January. I don't know.
Yeah, you might be right.
I don't know how much beach football you've watched.
No, I've not played none, or I've not watched any.
I thought you'd have been down there.
Sounds quite good,
Great Yarmouth. Here comes Slimani for Norwich City. Reverse pass looking for Quisgaran, but Flint got something on it for Walsall. That takes it away from the Dane, and Walsall clear it away. Norwich will build again from halfway. 0-0. Voice of Rob Newman, former Norwich City player, FA Cup semi-finalist with the Canaries back in 1992. It's the best Norwich have ever done. 3 times FA Cup semi-finalists, never been further than that, but they've only been beyond the third round 9 times in the last 30 years. It's not been a competition with many good memories in recent times for Norwich, the only exception being that wonderful run where they got to the quarter-finals and beat Tottenham on penalties in the 5th round. Here's Slimani. That was back in 2020. The quarter-final against Manchester United ended up being played behind closed doors here with no fans in. Here's Crescene looking for McCalmer. 0-0. McCalmer involved plenty early on in the game. Brings the ball along the touchline on the left. Farquharson staying tight to him. In the end, McCalmer opts for a simple ball back to the Norwich captain today, Maatsen. Infield to Jacob Wright. He picks out Crescene on the left-hand side. Crossing opportunity for Crescene, but he's put it too close to the goalkeeper. That's comfortable for Roberts. Norwich getting a bit more joy now. They're moving the ball into that final third, but We've been saying it all season. It's that lack of quality, isn't it?
It's that lack of quality, and we're saying to put crosses in the box, but Kisgarden is not the biggest. Well, me personally, I'd like to see McCarman centrally. It gives you more of a physical presence when crosses do come in, but like I say, they need to be a bit more sort of like with their end products and their crosses. It's not going to be just held up high crosses in it, because the keeper will come and catch it against Kisgarden, so they have to be a bit more thoughtful with their end product.
Yeah, Matthias Kisgarden, not the tallest, but he's got quite a spring on him. He wins,
I totally agree. Yeah,
he wins more in the air than you might think, but it's a big chance for him today with Josh Sargent, the regular starter up front, and then the form of Makama. Norwich only play one centre forward, so Kisgarden's opportunities under Philippe Clement have been really limited to short cameos late in the game off the bench. This is a chance for him up front today against League 2 opposition, with Sargent not in the squad and Makama playing on the wing, where Norwich are short of options. 0-0, 10 minutes gone. Interestingly, explanation from Philippe Clement for Ali Ahmed not being involved today, the recent signing from Canada. He talked about lack of minutes, but on the bench today he's got Liam Gibbs and Jakov Medic. Neither of them have played much recently, so I think Norwich fans would rather have seen Ali Ahmed in the team, wouldn't they, today, or on the bench at least? Yeah,
no, I think it's a good opportunity. If he'd have been on the bench, you don't have to put him on, but maybe the last 20 minutes, if hopefully when Norwich will be in a comfortable position, you could put him on. It's like a free hit, really, just to give the fans an opportunity to see him.
But Walsall giving a good account of themselves in this first 10 minutes, and they've won the ball there inside the Norwich half with Pressley. But straight away he's got two Norwich players on him, and they've managed to see off that particular threat. Walsall then take the direct route forward, but it's going to run behind for a goal kick. Grimshaw just allows it to go out of play. Daniel Grimshaw, 2 appearances for Norwich City, both in the League Cup earlier this season. Had 3 FA Cup games during his time with Blackpool. Once he was on the end of an upset when they lost to Hartlepool, but also in the team that took Nottingham Forest to a replay a couple of seasons ago, Daniel Grimshaw. So you look down the FA Cup history of these Norwich City players, and there's always a few ups and downs. Rory McConville's got the ball now. He won here at Carrow Road on third round day last season as a substitute for Brighton. That was his only appearance for Brighton. Later in the month he joined Norwich City. 0-0.
What we're saying, everyone has a story about the FA Cup, the ones playing on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. Most fans do as well, don't they?
Absolutely,
at some point.
Yeah, no, they were there, yeah.
This is why it's such an important competition. It lives long in the memory. Cordoba plays the ball upfield. It's just beyond Slimani, though, and easy for Evan Weir, the Irish centre-back, to pick up for Walsall. Now, Matson goes flying in typical fashion against Cumley, but Cumley stands up to that one and brings the ball away for Walsall, but then gives it away to Jacob Wright. And Norwich have got an opportunity to get in here because Walsall have started to commit players forward. Kisgarden takes on his man, goes down rather easily against Brandon Cumley, and it's clearly going to be not a free kick. And Walsall have got the ball back with Evan Weir, the defender, one of their back three. Comfortable in possession here. Step over, brings it up towards halfway, but then overdoes it, loses it, and Kisgarden takes on his man. But again, a heavy touch from the Dane, but he's still putting himself about to try and make it awkward for the Walsall defenders. Then a poor pass from Jurasek, and Walsall are able to clear it away. And there's Jack Stacey putting in a good challenge to prevent Walsall from breaking quickly. And maybe it is a little bit of rustiness. We've got some Norwich players here who haven't played a lot of football recently, Kisgarden being one of them. It's a bit disjointed, isn't it?
It is, and both sides are guilty of giving the ball away when they've got good possession, under no pressure really. They're holding on to the ball too long and running into opponent, and that goes for both sides really. So I want to see more quality from Norwich really, and like you say, I want to be quicker and more positive with their passing as well.
Yeah, it's developing into a bit of a third round scrap this between Norwich City of the Championship and League 2 Walsall, but just 29 league positions between these two sides. Here's Cordoba for Norwich City, works it into the midfield, and Matson is one of those players who never looks like he needs a break. He's whatever make of batteries he uses, I think are the ones we should have all put in our toys we got for Christmas, because there's no stopping Matson as the ball goes long for Norwich. An ambitious pass out to the right. Harper can't deal with it. Jurasek plays it into the path of Stacey, who's bursting forward, hooks the cross in from the right hand side. Slimani brings it under control on the edge of the area. Jurasek shot! Oh, he rifles it into the net, and it's a big moment for Matej Jurasek. That's his first Norwich City goal. It's come in the FA Cup, it's beautifully taken, and it's Norwich City 1, Walsall 0.
Fantastic finish, great strike. You're not going to see a better strike than that over the weekend. What I want to say, Chris, it's the first time that Norwich have hit a ball from back. Jacob Wright's hit a 40-50 yard pass over to Jurasek to start with. You know what I mean? The ball was gathered, nice little interplay in the box, crossing there, and Slimani's just controlled it. Nice little set and a fantastic strike. Really, really good strike. So I'm pleased for him. That will give him massive confidence as well. But again, I will reiterate, it was getting the ball back from a deep position, long pass over the 40-50 yard, and it just puts pressure on the opposition, and that's exactly what's happened. But you cannot take away the finish. It was an unbelievable strike.
Well, he signed in the last January transfer window, Mate Jurasek. He's had not a lot go his way since. This is only the 19th appearance for Norwich City. He's not started many games, but the way he pointed his finger in celebration there in the direction of the fans, it felt like he took out a lot of frustration on the ball there. I was going to say in recent games, recent goals that Norwich have scored, I didn't think I've seen many cleaner strikers of football than Jovan Makama, but that was a terrific finish. The goalkeeper, Miles Roberts, didn't really move until the ball was already past him.
No, it wasn't in the corner. It was sort of like literally about a yard away from the goalkeeper. But listen, when a player needs some confidence in whatever, if that doesn't even come, nothing will. But no, really pleased for him as well, because like I say, he's had some difficult times since he's been here, so to score a goal like that is really, really good.
Yeah, Jurasek got an assist at QPR recently, and that's a big one as well. Now, in the FA Cup, Arsenal have just gone 2-1 up at Portsmouth. They were 1-0 down early on in that one, Arsenal. That looked like it might be a cup shot, but Portsmouth are now have now had it turned against them, and it's Sheffield United 0, Mansfield 1. Elsewhere on this third round weekend, we used to talk about FA Cup third round day, but very much spread out across the weekend. Long free kick now from Walsall for Norwich to defend. They have defended it well. Here's Jurasek, who's finally got his first Norwich goal in this game. Tries to race away, gets tackled, and it's a throw in for Norwich City. Mate Jurasek put that lovely cross in for Sargent at QPR over Christmas, and I think there was a hope that might get him going. Now he's got a goal as well, and yes, I know people will say, well, it's League Two opposition in the FA Cup, but he's had so little go his way. He's struggled so much. To have that moment now, Walsall have messed the offside trap up here, and Jurasek has got away on the right hand side, just waiting for the ball to arrive. He sends the cross in. Slimani couldn't get there. Makama can Makama make room for the shot? He's going one way, then the other, and the goalkeeper smothers the shot. Matson from the edge of the penalty area tries to tee up a teammate, but Walsall have cleared it away. Norwich now sensing an opportunity to go further clear in this cup tie. They're already 1-0 up with that wonderful finish from Jurasek. He was involved in that last attack, and now Wright has played Stacey in on the right hand side, level with the Walsall penalty area. Jack Stacey for Norwich City, back to Jacob Wright, high looping cross, chance for Makama, who jumps with the goalkeeper, heads it over the top, just got underneath it, but you can see what the goal has done. It's given Norwich a bit of confidence and perhaps a bit of doubt in the minds of Walsall as well.
Absolutely, it's knocked Walsall's confidence a bit. They thought they'd had a good start, 10 minutes, but the goals really energised Norwich and whatever. Like a great cross in from Jacob Wright there as well. Basically, I think Makama could have done better, really, when he looks back at it and whatever. He knew the keeper was going to come out and clatter him, but he got there before the ball. But just before that, it was another great opportunity, moving the ball quicker, getting decent passes into the box as well. Norwich seem to be on top at the moment, and it's all due to the goal and whatever, which is good to watch.
And talking of FA Cup memories, we nearly saw a Keith Houchin from Slimani, didn't we? As that initial cross came in, threw himself, diving header. Keith Houchin, who got the winner for Coventry, or one of the goals for Coventry in 1987. Those are the sort of goals that stay in the mind. Norwich leading on this FA Cup third round weekend, 1-0 against Walsall. Mate Jurasek has his first Norwich goal, and that's took them 15 minutes to get, but since then, the last 3 or 4 minutes, they have looked a lot more confident. And Stacey has played the ball along the right hand side to Jurasek. Here's McConville on halfway. Walsall just sitting off here. Oh no, they're not out of this yet, but they will also know it's very important not to allow Norwich to get a second goal quickly. McConville spreads the play out towards the right hand side and picks out Jack Stacey. In front of him is Jacob Wright, playing deeper for Norwich today, filling in that Kenny McLean position. Wide to the right in Jurasek, who this time settles for a simple ball back to McConville. Every outfield player in the Walsall half at the moment, as Norwich look to press home their advantage. And the Canary fans lifting the noise levels as well. Cordoba on halfway. Jacob Wright available for the pass. Another signing last January from Manchester City. Here's Matson for Norwich City to Jacob Wright, who will pick a pass out here towards Slimani, but couldn't quite take it in his stride. Walsall have cleared. This time Wright plays it quickly out towards the right hand side to Jack Stacey. Certainly that message that Rob Newman was saying early on about Norwich moving the ball quicker, they seem to have got that memo. Here's Pella Matson, halfway inside the Walsall half, plays it into the feet of Jurasek, who this time can't quite bring it under control. and in fact commits a foul in trying to do so. But what struck me there, Rob, was as Norwich were coming through the middle, they were only about 25 yards from the Walsall goal, but there was about 8 players between them and the goal. They really were compact there, weren't they, Walsall?
It's going to be difficult, and that's why it's important to play those little 10-yard passes, even if it's behind one line as well, because it gets you further up the pitch, and it might drag a person out of that back line as well, and to do it quicker as well. But I think what you see now as well, Norwich are more runners from the midfield and trying to make runs beyond the Walsall defence. But like I said, you have to do it earlier when there is space there.
Misplaced clearance from Crescenny, but Maatsen is there, as he so often seems to be, to sense the danger and break up any chance of a Walsall counter. And now Quisgaran doing well to bring it under control and finding Crescenny, who's given it to Makama. Chance for him to rampage forward. Cuts in from the left-hand side. Really good defending from Farquharson. Didn't let Makama get away, and when he tried to play the pass, Farquharson was there to slide and block, and it remains 1-0 to Norwich City. Here's Slimani, who set up the goal for Jurasek. Bulldozing his way through here, Slimani. Tries to pick out Makama this time on the edge of the penalty area, but Walsall have got enough numbers back to deal with that. Here's Jellis in the midfield. Short pass. And then they play it back out, hoping that Jellis had made the run forward on the right-hand side. He hadn't, and that's given Norwich possession back, which Cordoba plays inside to Jacob Wright. Now Rory McConville standing in space in the centre circle. Again, every outfield player now, as McConville enters the Walsall half, is in that half of the field, the Norwich attacking half. Walsall desperate to ensure they don't go 2 goals behind against Championship opposition. Maatsen has time to pass the ball over to the right wing, and Jack Stacey. Jurasek in front of him, hugging the touchline. The goal scorer Jurasek plays it back to McConville, and now out to the right wing again, and Jurasek. And here's McConville. Norwich dominating the possession now, stroking it around with a bit of confidence. But Walsall are holding a very organised, very disciplined line in front of Norwich City. Here's Makama on the left-hand side, halfway inside the Walsall half. Can't see a route forward, so it's gone back to the halfway line again, and the game is settling into a bit of a familiar pattern now. Wright lays it off to McConville. The tall Norwich centre-back tries to pick the pass out to the right-hand side. It's intercepted by Harper, and Norwich get a throw in. You can see this game now.
Yeah, no, there are times, Chris, when you do have to be patient, or whatever, because you can't play these balls through the eye of the needles all the time. But I think it's important for Jurasek and Makama to give the team width as well, because if they've got a tendency in the last 5 minutes just to try to go infield to receive possession, but all that does is just makes it even more compact in the middle areas of the field.
Yeah, with 3 centre-backs and effectively 3 central midfielders are all getting back as well.
And the 2 wing-backs going as well, then it's going to be very, very difficult to play passes in there.
It really is. And Quisgaran, the Norwich centre-forward, has had to come all the way back to the halfway line here just to get a touch of the ball and try and provide Norwich an option. And he's released Jurasek on the right-hand side. Stacey in front of him. Jurasek, though, has knocked it back to Quisgaran, who cuts in from the right. Goes down, but he was tackled cleanly, and Walsall have got it back. Then Jacob Wright goes looking for it. He commits a foul, and Walsall have a free kick halfway inside their own half. Walsall have already caused issues in cup competitions this season for Championship opposition. First round of the League Cup, they took Stoke City to penalties. So they know their way around making life difficult for teams in the Cups. Norwich will know that 1-0 at this stage, quarter of the way through the game, may not be enough, especially when you consider Norwich have only kept 2 clean sheets this season in the league. I think Walsall will have seen that, and they'll know Norwich's home woes and their defensive woes this season. I think they will sense that if they can keep it at 1-0, that they'll fancy themselves to get a chance.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I say, Norwich have to show that patience. They look the dominant side at the moment, even though they're not creating anything in the last 5 minutes. But like I say, movement is really important now.
Stacey on the right-hand side, forward to Jurasek. Jurasek grappling there with Harper and emerging with the ball. Playing it short to Jacob Wright. Right now looking for an option into Quisgaran, who tries a flick around the corner, tries to play it quickly, but Walsall again have got enough players back to break it up. Slimani's won it back though in the penalty area, lays it off here. Opportunity for Norwich City to get a second. Oh, cleared off the line from Stacey. Makama pokes the rebound in. Norwich City have got a second goal. It was a brilliant goal line clearance from Flint after Stacey got the shot goalwards, but the rebound was picked up by Makama. He's in really good goal scoring form. It's his 6th goal in 7 games, and it gives Norwich a bit of breathing space on FA Cup 3rd round day. Norwich 2, Walsall 0.
Yeah, Crescenny's done really, really well there. Slimani's done well by putting pressure on the Walsall defender, winning the ball just inside his own area. Showed a great bit of technical ability as well, and a calmness and composure just to little chop the ball in whatever to, I think it was Stacey, who sort of like he No, it was a great goal line clearance. Came back to McCarmer, who calmly slotted it in. But no, it's I think it's what Norwich has deserved, and that's what you want to see. You want to see players putting defenders under, especially when they're not as technically gifted as what Norwich are. But they showed there that you can win the ball high up the pitch, and you get your rewards for it as well.
I feel a bit sorry for Aidan Flint there, because Jack Stacey picked up the ball brilliantly, made room for the shot, beat the goalkeeper, and Flint pulled off this fantastic goal line clearance. And then when McCarmer followed it up, even though Flint was on the floor, he tried to spring up like a floundering fish and try and head the ball away while he was on the ground, and he couldn't quite get there. He was looking for a second dramatic goal line clearance. 2-0 now though, and the other player we should mention, actually we'll just see what happens with this Walsall attack, because they've got it up here towards Pressley, dealt with by Cordoba, hacked away again by McConville. The Norwich are clearing their lines. Barrett with a looping header back towards the Norwich penalty area. Misjudgment on the edge of the box, but it's broken kindly here for Norwich, and they could be away with Jurasek over the halfway line. He's got options towards the left hand side, but he's keeping the ball himself. Now does release McCarmer. The two Norwich goal scorers linking up into double figures now for the season, Jovan McCarmer. Here's Maatsen coming forward, lays it off to Jack Stacey, who went close a moment ago, finds Maatsen towards Stacey in the penalty area, but Weir reads the clearance and clears it away. Just going to say, we should just mention a player who is taking his chance in this game, and it's Ben Slimani, has been involved in both goals.
Absolutely, like I say, he's in areas and that you want to win.
Clever balls from McCarmer, a back heel for Crescene to carry into the penalty area. He angles the shot, is parried. Slimani from the rebound, off the line again from Walsall. Right tees up Stacey in the penalty area. Slimani as well trying to win it back, but they've just got enough back there with Charlie Lakin to bring it out of the penalty area and away. But Kviskaran wins it back for Norwich City. Cross comes in from right on the right hand side. Flint stoops to head it away. Slimani, now Stacey. This is relentless from Norwich. They're putting this Walsall defence under all kinds of pressure. We've just seen another dramatic goal line clearance. This time Slimani denied, and on this occasion Norwich couldn't get to the rebound first. Here's Crescene halfway inside the Walsall half. They're on the attack again. Jurasek on the left, twists and turns and overruns the ball. Now it goes for a throw in.
Yep, another great goal line clearance. But this is what you want to see. Norwich have a 2-0 up against the team from a lower league, and they're showing what they can do. They're having fun out there, and like I say, and why not? Because it's been a really tough season for them. But as we just see there, another great goal line clearance. But you want to see people expressing themselves now and showing that they are better than their opponents in this particular game, because it's like a no lose. You mean like you've got to go out there, you're expected to win, and they are winning, and they're winning in good fashion as well now.
Evan Weir this time with the goal line clearance. Let's give him his credit. It was acrobatic stuff again, just getting there right behind the goalkeeper Slimani, who we were just talking about his role in the two goals. I thought he was then going to add one for himself, but no, cleared off the line. And Norwich, with the goals from Jurasek and McCarmer, have control of the cup tie at the moment. We've not quite played for half an hour. Norwich City 2, Walsall 0. Jurasek has won the domestic cup competition in his native Czechia before, and now I notice he's come across to the left hand side, and they're trying McCarmer on the right, just to give this Walsall defence, overworked Walsall defence at the moment, something else to think about. Not that it wasn't working before. Norwich have been more clinical today than perhaps they have been in some games recently. Stacey's getting forward to good effect. He's found Slimani, another clever layoff, this time from McCarmer, cutting in from the right. McCarmer just leaves the foot in there on Jealous as he breaks it up, and it's a free kick to Walsall, who will probably just relish taking some time over this free kick and taking the pressure off.
I think the difference now is, listen, you don't lose the game in the first 5 minutes, and Norwich just sat back and allowed Walsall to have some possession, but especially in the last 10 minutes you've seen an unbelievable amount of movement from the Norwich midfield, trying to run beyond, like you say, Chris Garden coming into to deep areas. That's what you want to see. You want them to see Norwich players express themselves and show some good movement and all over. Because players can fill spaces. If one player's gone, it doesn't matter. And I think Slimani has shown some great movement and great runs that's not even being picked up by his own teammates and whatever, but he's shown some great movement in that number 10 area.
Yeah, it took them 10 minutes or so, but I think Norwich have got to grips with the task now, haven't they? And they've taken those two chances. Probably could be 3-0 up. But no sign that the Walsall approach is going to change for now. I think at 1-0, we were saying that you sense that if they could hang in there, they fancy themselves to get a chance. But 2-0 is a different matter. At some point, Walsall have probably got to change what they're doing, but they know the Norwich have got the quality to cause them problems, as Stacey just tries to turn the ball into the path of McCarmer, and it's gone out of play for a throw in. Jack Stacey looking good on that right hand side. We've got an injury here to the Walsall goalkeeper now. This is a bit of a trend, isn't it, this season? Is this a signal that Matt Sadler wants to have a bit of a reorganisation,
Could
do you
be.
think?
Yeah.
I was just saying, is the Walsall game plan going to change? And sure enough, the goalkeeper, Miles Roberts, has gone down.
Yeah.
And we've seen this a lot this season, haven't we? So the Walsall physio's got to come all the way across the pitch to the goal mouth to our left-hand side.
He's getting them all in as well.
And of course, now all the Walsall players will go over for a bit of an unofficial timeout. And it's one of those things that some managers have questioned and some people would like to stop, but at the minute, the way the rules are, you can't do anything about it because the keeper's not going to go off with treatment, is he?
No, absolutely, and I think it's a good opportunity for Clement to say to his Norwich players as well how well they've done, especially in the last 15 minutes of the game. They got themselves in front by 2 really good goals, by playing direct football, quicker and faster, and showing that they are the better team, and like we've said in the last 15 minutes, they are the better team. So regardless of whether Walsall come back and they change to a flat back 4 or whatever Matt Sadler is saying to them, Norwich should have no problems dealing whatever Walsall will put in front of them, because like I say, in the last 15 minutes there's been more urgency in their play, there's been more sharpness and more desire to run beyond the Walsall back 4 as well, and like I say, you've got 2 players, one player that's continuing his good vein of form and scoring, and you've got one player that's been lower confidence, has got to go. So it's been a really good 30 minutes for Norwich City at the moment.
I was just watching the Walsall players while you were talking there, Rob, and it was a bit like the game had gone into extra time. It's that scene you see before extra time where all the players are crowded around the manager getting a team talk, obviously minus the goalkeeper because he's made a not surprising good recovery, but I think we all know what's happened there. But you can't really blame Matt Sadler for doing that, because Walsall were starting to look a little bit beleaguered. The game was getting away from them. But Philippe Clement, it is the same for both sides, isn't it? So when one manager can get the team over and have a team talk, actually so can the other. So
no, absolutely, and like I say, Matt Sadler probably at the moment he's looking and listening. This is damage limitations, because apart from the first 5 minutes when Walsall did offer something offensively, they've offered very little in the last 25. So it might be a case of damage limitation there for Walsall. And let's try and stay in the game, because as you say, 2-0. Okay, it's a really good, but they're not out of the game yet.
Certainly not. Don't forget Canary Call on BBC Radio Norfolk after this game. You can watch along as well with Rob Newman and Rob Butler, bbc.co.uk/Norfolk. Game's back underway. Miles Roberts, the goalkeeper, is okay, and Carnu is trying to get away on the left-hand side for Walsall. It looks like they might have just gone to
flat back 4,
now. Yeah, I think they're realising that they're losing the midfield battle, aren't they? And we've now got just Farquharson and Flint as the centre-backs. I think Weir has gone to play left-back now, as Norwich play the ball over the top here for McCarmer to chase onto on the left wing, and he's got there ahead of Farquharson, and he's got to the byline here as McCarmer just has to stop the ball to make sure that it doesn't get away from him, and now he backs himself to take it into the penalty area, shoots for goal, it's parried by the goalkeeper, everybody misses the rebound, it ends up on the right edge of the penalty area for Norwich with Jurasek. Back to Jack Stacey, so full of confidence, Jovan McCarmer, he picked that ball up and did it all himself. Now Slimani lays the ball back to McConville, who's inside Walsall territory. Out to the right, and Jacob Wright. Jurasek in front of him. Stacey has stayed onside. He's got the ball, level with the Walsall penalty area. Back it goes to Jurasek. Now McConville. Short to Cordoba. Cordoba finds Matson. Norwich still bossing the possession. Grisene finds McConville on halfway. 2-0 to Norwich City if you're just joining us. 12 minutes to go until half-time. Goals from Jurasek and McCarmer for the Canaries. Walsall still sitting deep, still being forced to sit deep really, because Norwich are moving the ball so well. Weir is now playing at left back, he clears it away. Norwich go to try and win it back in midfield. It's Jellis though for Walsall. Good tackle from Jacob Wright. Matson will then get to the loose ball. Terrific crunching tackle comes in on him from Cumley, but the ball rolls free for Norwich City. Grisene forward to McCarmer on this left hand side. Back to Cordoba, and now Norwich will try to build with McConville playing it forward. That's a really nice pass from McConville, and he's got Jurasek away. Right hand side taking on Harper. He's got support from Stacey, who'll put a high looping cross into the penalty area. Chris Garden jumps, is beaten in the air. Walsall scramble it away as far as Stacey, 25 yards out. Norwich fans want a shot here. Matson to Quisgaren. Quisgaren through to Stacey. Quick football from Norwich. Stacey's tackled. The ball cleared away. It strikes Quisgaren on the hand, and it's a free kick to Bournemouth, but to Walsall, I should say. But every so often, Norwich moving the ball so quickly.
Yeah, no, and Chris Garden's shown great link-up play there as well. It's fantastic with Stacey just. The ball was played into Chris Garden really, really quickly and whatever, but showed great technical ability and quick link-up play with Stacey. Unlucky not to get a shot off on goal. But I think what we're seeing now is McCarmer is like really, really high on confidence and whatever. Like in a 1v1 situation out wide, he's taken the defender on and got a shot in. Whereas maybe early on in his career he would have passed it. But that's what you want to see from a striker. Real confidence, take the player on, have the beating of his opponent, and trying to score more goals.
I think the puzzle with McCarmer, as we'll come on to perhaps later on, is where you best play him in the team. As Carnu has the ball on the left-hand side here for Walsall, a rare foray forward for Walsall. Carnu's got it by the corner flag, trying to hold it up, trying to keep it in play. In the end, he gets tackled, and the ball stays in play. It runs right along the touchline there, and Norwich have now got it inside their own penalty area with McConville, who just clips it up towards halfway. And here is McCarmer again, who always seems to know where the ball's going to land, and he puts that one over the top, but it's going to go through to the goalkeeper, because on form, and Josh Sargent included in this, on form, McCarmer is Norwich's in-form centre-forward, but these rampaging runs down the wing, I don't know that Norwich have got a better option on the wing either
at the moment. And I think when he's playing on the left-hand side, he's predominantly right-footed as well, and that makes him come in field really. So basically when he's playing on the right-hand side, you think, well, he's going to go on the outside, but in the last 10 minutes of this half, he's got a 1v1 and the right side going in towards the goal, and got off 2 shots.
More neat football from Norwich involving Quisgarin and then Slimani. Slimani carries it and then tries to play a lovely reverse pass through to Quisgarin from the angle. Goalkeeper denies him, but the flag was up. He'd just gone too soon.
Yeah,
but that was a really good link-up play between Matthias Quisgarin and Anis Ben Slimani.
Yeah, and again, you want to see someone in that 10 area that's able to pass the ball with a well-weighted pass as well, and Slimani's done that there with that situation, just probably about just half a yard offside, but good play from Norwich.
Evan Weir sends a long ball forward for Walsall. It goes all the way through to Dan Grimshaw, the Norwich City goalkeeper, who hasn't really had a chance to impress yet, has he, Grimshaw? I mean, he's playing for a team that's well on top and he's winning, which I'm sure he'll be pleased with, but I don't know. We're not best placed to talk about goalkeepers' mentality, but presumably they want an opportunity to make a save at some point.
They do, but not at the moment. Maybe leave it for a bit later in the second half.
Yeah. Grimshaw getting the chance in goal today for Norwich City. Played in the League Cup win at Watford at the start of the season, and then in the second round Norwich were knocked out quite comfortably here by Southampton, and that's the last time he played for the Canaries, so he gets the chance today. Matson laying it off to Kraseni, and it's back with Cordoba, who's got a Bulgarian Cup winners medal in his collection. Jose Cordoba right plays the ball towards Stacey, who's from a Levski Sofia defender. That's where Norwich got him from. And he's got the ball again now, Jose Cordoba, and he's urging somebody to come short for the option. That player is McCarmer, but he can't find him. And now Barrett plays it through for Walsall, and here's an opportunity for the League 2 high flyers to put Norwich under pressure. Presley does well, finds Jellis on the right hand side. Presley did really well to hold off the challenge of Matson there. I've seen a lot of Championship players struggle to do that in recent games, but Presley does look a bit of a handful up there. Walsall just haven't got their front two. Presley and Carnu involved in the game that often, as the ball goes long from Walsall, and Kraseni just lets it go through. You know, we were saying earlier on that everyone's got a bit of a cup story. Well, Aaron Presley, who we've just been talking about, his dad is Stephen Presley, who's now the manager of Dundee. And when he was the Hearts player, Stephen Presley, they got to the Scottish Cup final in 2006, and his son Aaron came on the pitch as a mascot. So he's been on the pitch on a cup final, Aaron Presley. And he's now getting his chance in the third round. And they did win that day as well. So
great story.
Yeah, that's 20 years ago. Ball played long by Norwich, chested down by Quisgarin. Nicely for Slimani, who's gathered it. Up towards the edge of the penalty area goes Slimani. Lays it off now to Jacob Wright. Now Stacey on the right-hand side. Norwich City leading by 2-0. Every Walsall player back behind the ball. Norwich are about halfway inside the Walsall half. On the left now with Kraseni. Forward to McCarmer, who's just cut inside. Lays it off short to the skipper today, Matson. Back to Cordoba. Still Walsall sitting deep, trying to make sure they don't go 3 down before half-time. Clever touch from Jurasek into the path of Quisgarin, who's gone down in the penalty area and stays down. No penalty given. It's a Walsall defender slid in there, took a bit of a risk.
No.
His ankle, I think.
Conville's done well, stepping into play there as well, just playing a little death ball in there. Like, I don't know, someone dummied it, but it was a pretty strong tackle.
McConville through. Jurasek helps it on. Harper.
No, he's got the ball.
He does get the ball,
he's got
but
the ball and whatever, but
it goes to ground, doesn't he, from the side?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think there's any question of that being a penalty, but he's caught. Quisgarin there has Harper, Vincent Harper, who was a scorer in the third round last season. They got him from Exeter, and on third round day last season, Exeter knocked out Championship opposition in the shape of Oxford. Harper was one of the scorers, but he's brought Quisgaron crashing down there, and he's had a real stop-start beginning to his Norwich career, Matthias Quisgaron. This was a big chance for him to impress, and he's down in the penalty area at the moment, getting some treatment, and there does seem to be a bit of concern. They have just sent some subs to warm up, so they don't want to lose anybody, of course, in this. It's always a bit of a balancing act for a head coach, isn't it, on third round day, because of course you want to progress. I think most fans love a cup run. We've talked about the great memories you can have in this competition already, but
if you can do it without injuries as well, if you can do it without injuries, that's even better, isn't it? But I think he'll be okay there as well. I think it was it was a strong tackle. He got the ball and he's just maybe caught his ankle under the body, whatever. But he looks to be walking okay now and whatever. Right? But
he's already got 4 goals this season, Quisgaron. He's only started 5 games before today, so definitely a player there. But I think the problem Norwich have got, or the problem he's got, I should say, is that Norwich tend to play just one striker. And when you've got Sargent and when you've got McCarmer
now,
throw into Norwich, and they're going to play on with 10 players because Quisgaron's got to go off the pitch for the next 30 seconds or so, but I think he will come back on. What have we got? 5 minutes to half time. 2-0 Norwich City. They're bouncing the ball around now from the throw-in in that channel on the right hand side. Moved it to McConville. Clever flick again from Slimani. Stacey's arriving, cut back from the right. Shot from Jurasek, parried by the goalkeeper. Didn't get hold of that in the way he did for the goal that he scored earlier on, but Norwich are getting opportunities here. Jurasek scoring one. They've had McCarmer score one. They've had a couple cleared off the line as well, and that was a decent save from Miles Roberts in goal for Walsall.
Yeah, another good strike from Jurasek as well, but what you saw there was Stacey high up in the pitch getting the ball and picking a player out, not just aimlessly hitting the ball and being happy to do that as well. He actually pulled it back to Jurasek, who again has had a great connection on the ball and made the keeper make a good save.
Quisgaron's back on. Norwich are back up to the full quota with 4 minutes to go until half time. And Ben Slimani's enjoying himself. He's had his injury problems as well. In fact, his last 2 games at Carrow Road, Good Friday last year and then Boxing Day, and FA Cup third round day now. So he only plays at Carrow Road on the special occasions. Good Friday, Boxing Day, FA Cup third round day.
Well, he's certainly doing himself no harm today with his performance in this first half.
Cordova sends one long. Farquharson should deal with it for Walsall, but in heading it down, he's presented it really to McCarmer, who's got a chance to bring it under control and play it in field to Jacob Wright. Walsall now getting players back again behind the ball. But with damage limitations as far as the League Two side are concerned at the end of this first half, Cresceni finds Wright back to Cordova on halfway, and now it's played on to Rory McConville. Up towards Slimani, edge of the penalty area, lays it off, but straight to a Walsall player. Jealous, who is in the right position to pick that up, plays it up towards Aaron Pressley, who holds on to it, brings it back into his own half in order to make sure that Walsall can keep possession, and plays it back to Farquharson, and Farquharson's giving it away again there. Jacob Wright picks up the loose ball, gives it to McCarmer, in quickly here to Quisgaron, who's scampered in behind the Walsall defence to the left of goal by the byline. Hits it against the Walsall defender. He wants handball, Quisgaron. He's better playing on there, I think, to try and get to it. It's not been given. Cleared away by Walsall. Cresceni picks it up. Infield to Matson. Norwich fans think that should have been a penalty. I mean, the Walsall defender was really close to him. Reverse pass from McConville. It's set up now for Wright on the edge of the penalty area. He's crowded out of it, but goes to work. Finds Slimani. Wins it back well there, Jacob Wright. Now Norwich have it on the corner of the Walsall penalty area. Clever flick from Jurasek to Slimani. It breaks for Jacob Wright on the edge of the box. Walsall just cannot get out at the moment. Played in from Jurasek. Blocked. Couple of deflections. It falls for 3 Walsall defenders. Falls between them. They leave it to each other. Eventually Jurasek across and behind off a defender. That was a real scramble in the Walsall penalty area. And it's the first corner of the game.
That was like playing in a 10 by 10 box there in that last 30 seconds of play there. But again, opportunities that presented themselves with Norwich, showing good little technical ability in tight areas as well.
There's one moment when the ball dropped between 3 Walsall players in their own penalty area. They all left it. Norwich have a corner. Can they get a third goal with 90 seconds to go to half time? They lead 2-0. Jurasek with the corner from the right hand side, curling delivery towards the far post. It's been headed behind, and we've had to wait 43 and a half minutes for a corner, and now Norwich have got another one, which Jacob Wright is going to take from this left hand side. He seems to be enjoying the chance he's been given today, playing slightly deeper. We've seen him in the number 10 role in recent weeks, but playing where Kenny McLean.
That's what we saw. Like we saw him play a lot last season as well. I think he was bought as that number 6 and whatever, and he's played this season as a number 10, but shows that he can play in that position as well, which is handy to have as a squad player as well.
Just seen the I don't know if you saw it, the replay of the handball incident from the Chris Garland cross. Anyway, right corner into the penalty area, headed up in the air by a Walsall defender. May go out for a corner again the other side. Cordoba is going to try and make sure that it does, and it just about has. So here we go. A succession of corners now for Norwich City.
I missed it. Was it handball?
Oh, it's his
one of them
hand.
ones
It's
tight.
so close to him. I think
it's difficult, isn't it, when the ball was struck so quickly and you're in close proximity as well.
I think every Norwich fan who watches it will say that's a penalty, and every Walsall fan will say too close to him, it can't be. Corner played in for Eurosec, low this time. Chris Garland battles for it. It's gone behind. Guess what? Another corner. This is corner number 4. Norwich got to the 43rd minute without winning a corner. We're now in the 45th and they've had 4 corners. Walsall just can't, I said it a moment ago, they can't get out with a minute, can they?
No.
This is the problem. When you sit deep, you bring everybody back behind the ball, you can get really boxed in. And now Eurosec runs up to the ball to take the corner, dummies it, doesn't take the corner, returns to his starting position, now does whip the corner in. It's come up and over the top, and it came off a Walsall defender. It's another corner for Norwich City. They've spent the last 2 minutes exclusively practicing their set pieces.
And yes, it's important as well to put another good quality crossing as well, because if Norwich can get a third goal, then I think the game will be killed off then. So if we can get one before half time, it will be a really positive end to the half.
Jacob Wright corner, right footed from the left hand side. More pressure for the stretched Walsall defence to try to deal with here. In towards the near post, helped on by Chris Goran, cleared away to right, who puts the ball back into the penalty area. Walsall defender heads it up in the air. Cordoba trying to make something of it. Conor Barrett, though, I think has got the better of him and will shield the ball, and we'll see it out of play, and it'll be a throw into Walsall. And after 5 corners in a row, Walsall have bought themselves a bit of respite.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing there. There was some good opportunities there. 5 corners to have no efforts on goal really is quite disappointing. But listen, overall this has been a decent performance in the first half by Norwich City Football Club.
And that's someone who spent a long time as a centre back. All those corners you must have trotted up the pitch for, and then never got near getting on the end of any of them. Header away from Flint, big defender for Walsall, returned by Norwich's own big defender McConville. Looping headers towards each other at the moment. It drops for Jacob Wright on halfway. He'll give it to Crescene, and Norwich still lead 2-0. Crescene takes his time with this one, plays it back to Cordoba, and Jacob Wright is now available for the pass just inside his own half. Gets it onto his right foot. Walsall setting off. I think they know exactly what the state of the game is here, and they can't afford to concede a third in this first half stoppage time. It's broken out towards Eurosec on the right hand side. Slimani tries to play him back in, but too much on the pass. It's gone behind for a goal kick. That will just about do us probably. I've just seen Matt Sadler, the Walsall boss, pick up his water bottle over on the far side. A long drink. I think he's just loosening those vocal cords, ready for a bit of a half-time team talk, because it's not easy when you're the lower-ranked team and you're 2-0 down at half-time. You've got to keep heads up.
Absolutely, and Norwich have been totally the dominant team for the last 30 minutes of this half as well. So to go in, he's probably still happy that they're 2-0 and still feels they're in the game.
Now Walsall just sending the ball forward here and trying to create something at the end of the half. If they could just get one back before half-time, it would be against the run of the play, but it really would make it interesting. Here's Conor Barrett on the right-hand side. Rare opportunity for Walsall to attack. Pelle Matson sticking with him, makes the challenge. It's a really good tackle. Matson just dropping into the left-back role to win the ball back there for Norwich City. He's having none of it. Wright clears the ball away for Norwich City, looking to get Stacey involved on the right-hand side. Harper, though, heads it forward for Walsall. Carnew's come deep to pick it up. The Walsall striker, whose chances to attack have been few and far between, he gets tackled by Eurosec. Norwich have got it back, and I think now Philip Clement will hope that they can just see it to half-time with a very healthy 2-0 lead that they've got. Back with Cordoba on the edge of his own penalty area. Here's Rory McConville. Not sure the last time Dan Grimshaw, the Norwich keeper, touched the ball, actually. We're running the risk of getting pretty chilly out there, with darkness beginning to descend and the floodlights taking full effect. We've reached that part now where you can see, just very faintly, but you can see the 4 shadows that each player has, which are cast by the floodlights. Here's Cordoba for Norwich City, short to Pelle Matson in the centre circle. Back to Cordoba again, and even then doesn't give Dan Grimshaw a touch. The keeper came to the edge of the penalty area and said, I'm available, but no, Norwich have decided in the end to go forward, and it's a good diagonal ball, but it's going to bounce away from Makama.
I don't mind that. McConville's seen the opportunity to play a long pass, literally so close to being a really, really accurate, fantastic ball there as well. So I don't mind that as well, because it's sort of like it allows Makama to run beyond the defence, and he's got some green grass to run into, basically, not as deep. So I don't mind that at all. Very unlucky.
Goal kick to Walsall. I think this may signal the end of the... I didn't catch how much stoppage time was added on, actually, so we can't have too much left, although we continue as the Walsall goalkeeper sends the ball long. Miles Roberts, Norwich clear it away. McCarmer brings it down nicely, finds Slimani, who just can't get through that crowd in midfield, and the ball eventually breaks into the Norwich half with Cordoba. Cresceni, the Norwich left back, having one last foray forward at the end of this half. He's picked out McCarmer, who just can't quite help it on, and it's back now with Brandon Cumley, who loses it deep inside his own half. Chris Curran trying a clever flick. It's broken for McCarmer, curling effort, not far wide from the edge of the penalty area. That was a chance to kill it off, and that's where Walsall haven't helped themselves. There's three or four times in this half where they've had possession and given it away close to the own goal.
Good pressure from Norwich as well, but again, ball falling to McCarmer, and it's just like a vision of a player that's playing with so much confidence at the moment, and it wasn't too far away from that far top corner.
Well, the last time Norwich City won an FA Cup tie in front of supporters at Carrow Road was third round day in 2012, so 14 years ago now. So don't sniff at this. It may be League Two opposition, but Norwich City are winning an FA Cup tie at home at half-time, and it has looked every inch Championship against League Two. This one, there might only be 29 league places between the two sides, but actually Norwich should be a class above, and the two goals that they scored at a good time, didn't they? Jurasek thrashing them in front after 15 minutes, and then just as Walsall were trying to limit the damage, there was McCarmer after Jack Stacey's effort had been cleared off the line. So 2-0. I mean, Norwich aren't home and host yet. If Walsall get a corner and sneak one back early in the second half, you never know, but so far that is a good professional performance from Norwich.
Absolutely, and Norwich have to be really pleased with that half as well, and like I say, before the game we had our fingers crossed, because we were hoping there was a gulf in these two sides and whatever. Like, first 5 minutes Walsall did press a bit, but for the entirety of that second half, basically majority was played in the Walsall half, and there was some really, really good play. Two fantastic goals, two goals from players that one is in like massive form at the moment, and one needed a lift, and he certainly got it as well. But I think overall you've seen some good performances from Slimani in that number 10 position. Jacob Wright has showed he's got the versatility to drop back into a number 6 as well, and you've got McConville and Cordoba looking really composed at the back. You've got two fullbacks wanting to make runs forward as well, and basically, like you said, Chris, the only person we feel sorry for is the goalkeeper. But like, the goalkeeper's not been in the game, but we don't care about that, because we want Norwich to progress in this competition, and they're well on their way to do that at half-time.
Well, half-time, Norwich City are skillfully sidestepping the banana skin at the moment, but the way Norwich City have played at home this season, I don't think anyone's taking this for granted just yet, because Norwich have only kept 2 clean sheets all season, so there is still the potential for this one to get more interesting. But at half-time, Norwich are in control. Jurasek's first for the club, McCarmer's 10th of the season. It's Norwich City 2, Walsall 0.
Thank you very much, Chris and Rob. Plenty more from those pair in the second half. Full commentary here on BBC Radio Norfolk, on FM, DAB and online for the FA Cup as well. Don't forget, we've got our Canary Call online visualised. You can watch Rob afterwards, post-match, talking about everything to do with the January transfer window, and hopefully Norwich going through to the next round. But stranger things have happened. Join us for second half commentary here on the BBC. Elsewhere then in the Cup today, one game's already finished. Leeds safely navigated their way through after beating Derby 3-1.
Now can Metcher go at full side. Plays the ball inside the penalty area. Oh, that's a tidy finish, and what a deserved score as well. James Justin comes across from the right side like all good wing-backs should do, and finishes off brutally with the left foot, and Leeds United have a 3-1 lead, and they're into the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Yeah, Justin scoring in the 93rd minute just to put the cherry on top. Same scoreline at Portsmouth. Portsmouth actually took the lead after 3 minutes against Arsenal, but then a couple of goals from Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, as well as an own goal, has got them back in front and comfortable. This was their second.
Corner on the right-hand side then for Arsenal. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger to the near post. Goes right away across the face of the goal, into the back of the net by the left-handed side. And Arsenal will turn this round. Pompey 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah, and since then, as I say, Arsenal have got a third. Goalless between Hull and Blackburn Rovers in the all-championship tie. Although another championship side are behind against lower league opposition. Sheffield United 1, Mansfield 2.
Nathan Mariah Welsh will take. Into the box it goes. Glancing backward header. Oh, and they've scored again! And it's Lewis Reed again. A clearance by Sheffield United, dropped to the former Blade, who took aim, and via the sharpest of deflections, Lewis Reed has made it 2-1 to Mansfield.
Yeah, both the goals from Lewis Reed, who have twice taken the advantage. Can they hold on to it in the second half? They are 2-1 up at the break. Elsewhere, Swansea goalless with West Brom. West Ham 0, QPR 0. The 4:30 kickoff, an all Premier League affair. Manchester United against Brighton and Hove Albion. I can tell you, as far as Norwich City women are concerned, they're in action in the Women's Division 1 South East. They are 1-0 up away at Actonians. Izzy Moore with the only goal of the match. If they go on to win that game, that brings them back to within a point of Fulham. Remember, only one side will get promoted automatically. So Norwich City trying to do the business. It might all come down to their game against Fulham later this season. We're going to bring you some more on the January transfer window very shortly. We'll check in with Rob Butler as well. Now we'll change sports. Norfolk can't boast too many world championships going on in the county, but the World Indoor Bowls in Hopton-on-Sea began at Potters on Friday. In the next couple of weeks, players from around the world will be battling out on the famous blue rink, and for the first time, Norfolk's Aaron Johnson will be in singles action as well as the men's pairs. I caught up with the Norwich boy earlier this week.
I'm massively excited because it's a bit weird for me. I effectively qualified a year ago because by doing well at the Scottish Open in 2025 now, I had to sit there and wait to see if results would go my way at Potters last year to sneak in the top 16, and it went all the way to a quarter final at Potters last year. Had to go my way to get in, and I sneaked 16th. So I've known for a year now that I'll be in without playing now. I think I'm the only person ever to qualify as a top 16 player, being the seeders with never playing there before. So it's quite strange to be in the singles seeded without playing in the singles before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But you have got a tiny bit of experience of being there, and you know sort of what it's going to be like, although in the pairs it does feel quite different. I mean, especially at the latter stages, but at least you do have some experience of being on the other side of things, because I know you will have watched it as a fan, but to actually have been out there. Yeah,
definitely. Like, at least I know what it's like with all the cameras on and everything. The singles is a different animal, but at least I know what it's like on there with the cameras, the procedures and everything, and having the crowd in. So yeah, I've got a little bit of experience upon me 2 years ago with Ian Catchpole in the pairs, which was good fun. So yeah, got a little bit.
The trouble is, Potters is like no other place, is it? So it's not really like you can even get a huge amount of kind of practice, if you like, in that entire year. I mean, obviously in lots of other sports, people would have spent the entire year trying to hone their craft, which I'm sure you have done to an extent, but to actually put it in action at Potters is quite different, right?
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, Potters is a different venue to anything you play in all year in our sport of bowls. You don't get crowds like that anywhere else, that kind of media attention even. Things like this, you don't have anything like this throughout the year. You have your same local club members that you see day in, day out, and you can't replicate the pressure of being here anywhere else.
The good news is you've got people you can talk to who have been and done it, because I know you're good friends with Wayne Wilgris. I'm sure you know Mervyn King pretty well as well. Yes. So what have they told you about what it's actually going to be like in sort of the heat of battle?
Yeah, I mean, Wayne's very good. I'm sure you know him well. He doesn't mince his words. He's told me very directly that you never will sort of play with a pressure like this. You need a sort of another level of concentration, really, because there's so many sort of other things going on around you. It's easy to sort of be lost in the lights, and kind of before you know it, it's gone away and disappeared from you, because at this kind of level, especially in sets play, it only takes one mistake, one thing, and the players here will latch on it.
You, I'm sure, are quite confident, though. I mean, you mentioned the Scottish Open earlier. You beat some big names in that: Robert Paxton, Stuart Anderson, Wayne Wilgris. You know, you're good, mate. So, you know, you do know, and at least you can say that you have beaten the best.
Yeah, definitely. I took a lot from that week, because not really. I wasn't a known name then. I'm not saying I completely am now, but I was just another qualifier, kind of coming along out of the blue, and I didn't get an easy run of it. I played a lot of good players and had to fight for each win. So I know I can, but I've also been on the flip side of things at all these qualifiers for years, and I know how many good players they are. Like the player I'm playing, Mikey Titcombe, he's come through a qualifier of 64 people. He will have won 6 tough games, and I know him well. There is so many good players out there, so now I'm in it, I'm really more eager to try and fight to stay in it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Mikey. I mean, you've got to wait until Monday. I think it's a 7:30 match in the evening, which is great because you should have lots of home support.
Yes, hopefully. Potters are being very kind, hopefully getting me some tickets maybe to get a few of them up there, get some support, which would be lovely, having that kind of make it feel a bit more like it being at home. Going up there on the very last first round singles game, which could put more pressure on, could put less, depending on how other people do. I'll know how everything's going and how the sort of rankings are shaping up. So it'll be interesting being last, and I will have been able to gauge a lot on the green by watching a lot of other people and seeing how they play in their matches.
Sort of benefits you in some respects that you've got a match on Sunday night as well, haven't you, or Sunday, because you're in the pairs with Nicky Brett. I mean, a man who's been there, done it, bought the T-shirt at every single level, and you're against a couple of qualifiers, international qualifiers, who you won't actually know until a bit later on in the weekend. But how do you feel about playing in the pairs with Nick?
Yeah, I mean, when I got that call, sort of probably just sort of February last year, when Nick called me and he said, "Would you like to play with me in the world pairs?" I did have to pinch myself a little bit because you don't expect to get a call like that. So that was awesome. I mean, I think he's won it 3 times now. He's household name, been there year after year. So I've got big shoes to fill with trying to lead as well or anywhere near how Greg Harlow with him. But yeah, it'll be a great experience, and I couldn't really ask for much more to gauge from someone on experience, because he's got knowledge like no one else really.
Yeah, good luck to Aaron Johnson. Him and Nicky Brett will start their Open Pairs campaign in about 15-20 minutes time over at Potters, and he's got his singles tomorrow as well, I think. So yeah, good luck to all the Norfolk people competing at Potters. We'll follow that over the next couple of weeks. BBC Radio Norfolk, the Canaries with a 2-0 advantage against Walsall. And Rob, you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. Norwich have played really well. Special shout out for a couple of perhaps unsung heroes this year who haven't really caught the eye. Anis Ben Slimani, I think, has had a really good game. Jack Stacey's looked good out wide as well. We all know how good McCarmer is. He's been absolutely brilliant, drifting in from that left-hand side as well. But it's been an excellent performance. Yeah, all right, we're playing Walsall, who are in League 2, but we know they've had a good start to the season. They're third in the table. And Norwich are at the minute avoiding that banana skin. A lot can change. But I'm just been really impressed. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable seeing a team play the ball quickly and get forward quickly. We've said this before when we've watched Philippe Clement teams. And it's a morale boost. That's what Norwich needed after that Stoke game, which was a real terrible afternoon for Norwich. They needed something today. These fans who have turned out, and there is quite a good crowd here tonight, this afternoon, I should say, despite the Upper Barclay and Upper River End being closed. But there is still a decent crowd here, and you know that's warming them up. A good performance from Norwich.
Yeah, Mate Jurasek scored a goal, his first goal for Norwich City, and hopefully this could be the start of something. That's what we've been waiting for a while.
What I liked about it, and Chris and Rob talked about it on commentary, and we were saying as well, it was a really hard hit. You know, he didn't try and place it; he just hit it hard, and it was a really good finish. As you said, probably the keeper might be said you should have saved that, but he hit it so hard he didn't give the keeper a chance. It was past him before he had a chance to kind of collect himself. So brilliant for Mate Jurasek, and as Chris described on commentary, you know, he kind of really wagged his finger and really showed that he wanted that, and he really wants to kick off his career at Norwich. And it looks like that Philippe Clement decision to kind of pull him off early, if you like, from the pitch has paid off, because he's here and he's playing and he's actually taken the chance. It's really made him think about his future. He's obviously training hard and now getting in the team, and he's in it. He's doing well.
And you're excited by one particular Walsall player who is related to one of your heroes.
Well, we've had a message from Tulsa, who of course is well known on Canary Call and named after an Elvis Presley character. You can probably guess where I'm going here, because he says, I just heard Chris mention Aaron Presley and Stephen Presley on the commentary. Of course, Stephen Presley, the Dundee manager, is Aaron's dad. Stephen Presley is actually related to Elvis. When Elvis' ancestors first moved to America from Scotland, the surname was Presley with 2 S's, but over the years, one of the 2 S's got dropped. Lisa Marie Presley once gifted some of her dad's belongings to Stephen, so in conclusion, a distant relative of Elvis, the great man, the king, is on the pitch at Carrow Road today. What about that? And I have double-checked it, not that I doubt you, Tulsa, because you're a well-known friend of ours here on BBC Radio Norfolk, but according to various places, including the Scottish Daily Express, there are some connections. He is a distant cousin of the king, is Stephen Presley, and therefore Aaron. But of course, Aaron Presley, must be named after Elvis because Elvis's middle name was Aaron, famously.
Obviously, I mean, I didn't know that, but you're a big fan, so...
Well, lots of people love Elvis.
Of course, no, absolutely.
The greatest entertainer of all time,
I'm not disputing that at all.
Yeah.
As far as action is concerned, back on the pitch, not in the Walsall half. Well, we hope it is more in the Walsall half, in the Walsall goal mouth. What do you think Norwich needs to do second half? Are they going to change anything? Is he going to try and see some of the people from the bench? Is he going to try and get maybe a bit of the confidence flowing? Or actually, do Norwich just need to shut up shop and sort of say, well, they've done their work for this game. Let's not risk anyone going forward. What do you reckon?
Well, I want to see Chris score and get a goal because I really like him, and I think he, as we've mentioned, Clement hasn't really given him too many chances, so I'd like to see him score because I really think he's a player that's kind of waiting to happen really for Norwich. I think he's going to break out soon, hopefully. But you're right. I mean, you've got to start thinking about a huge league game against Wrexham next week. So maybe in the second half you do look at the likes of Schwartau coming on, who will know do a good job. You've got Kellen Fisher, who's a first teamer on the bench as well. Maybe a good chance for Errol Mundle-Smith to have another run out as well. Tony Springett, the old hero as well, who all the fans have fallen in love with recently. So there are opportunities on the bench.
They just can't open the door though, can they?
No, they can't, but those players should be enough to see us home. That's why, and we'll talk about it on Canary Call, that's why it would have been a good one for Ali Ahmed today because, 10 minutes to go, he gets a lovely reception from the fans. Norwich 2 or 3-0 up, and he has a little run out for 10 minutes. The manager decided against it, which is up to him, and he's given the reasons why, and they're totally valid. But I think it's going to be a talking point after. Let's hope Norwich get through. The lines will be open 0800 389 732, and you can watch and listen to Canary Call, of course. And we will be talking about today's game. We'll be talking about Ali Ahmed and how excited people are to hopefully see him next week. But also the transfer window is open, and we'll be seeing what Norwich fans think they need to do, because there's been lots of discussion in the last couple of days about Norwich not pulling their finger out in the transfer market, Phil.
Yeah, well, we'll probably hear a bit from Philippe Clement in Canary Call talking about the January transfer window and how happy or not he is after their business thus far. Well, the players are back out on the pitch, and I think it's Walsall who have blinked first as far as the changes are concerned. Philippe Clement will no doubt be delighted his side are 2-0 up and maybe thinking about changes in the second half, but none as we speak, I don't think, Chris.
I've got some heartbreaking news for Rob Butler.
Oh, go on.
Aaron Pressley has left the building.
Oh, no.
They've taken him off at half-time.
Getting ready with all my puns and that.
They've taken him off at half-time. I'll give you the details of the two Walsall substitutions at half-time in just a moment. But off we go. Second half, no changes by Norwich City. Norwich lead Walsall by 2-0. And they're attacking the Barclay end in this second half. Walsall, they've got us back underway. Red and black striped shirts, white shorts, white socks. It's back with the Norwich goalkeeper Dan Grimshaw. Norwich in yellow and green. They've got Cordoba, the defender, on the ball, edge of his own penalty area, floats it forward. Chris Scarron stretching, maybe got something on it. Flint, the defender, though, digs it out and plays it back to his goalkeeper Miles Roberts, who clears long. Albert Adoma has come on at half-time, the old stager in this Walsall team. He has played more than 700 league games. He's now 38, not all for Walsall, of course, because he was in the Middlesbrough team that lost in the playoff final to Norwich a few years ago in 2015. They've also brought on Courtney Clark on this left-hand side. Brandon Cumley has gone off, and so has Aaron Pressley up front. So we can forget all the Elvis puns that we had lined up for the second half. Norwich lead 2-0. They've got McCarmer involved already on the left-hand side. Plays it quickly into the penalty area. It's Slimani. Oh, he laid it off, but there was no one there with him. And so Walsall can bring it away. Good first touch from Slimani. Clever layoff, but there's no one there. So Norwich second half. Grimshaw in goal. Stacey, McConville, Cordoba, Cresceni at the back. Wright and Matson, the deeper midfielders, with Slimani in the number 10 role. Goal scorers Jurasek and McCarmer wide. Chris Gorin up front. And Walsall have Roberts in goal. Farkas and Flint and Weir at the back. Barrett and Harper, the wing-backs, with now Clark playing in midfield with Yellis and Lakin. And they've got Adoma playing towards the right-hand side and Carnu up front. 2-0 to Norwich. Goals in the 15th and the 25th minutes from Jurasek and McCarmer in the first half. And we'll bring Rob Newman in a moment, former Norwich City player who's watching the Canaries try to get a third goal early in the second half here with McCarmer. Plays it back to Cordoba inside his own half. 2 minutes gone in the second period. And Norwich in good control. Here's Stacey on the right-hand side. He's got Jurasek making a move in front of him. Instead it's played back towards the halfway line and Rory McConville. Now Cordoba in the centre circle. Cordoba plays it short to Cresceni. Matson now for Norwich. Oh, just caught there, but managed to play it to the left-hand side and Cresceni. He plays it into the feet of McCarmer now, left-hand side, halfway inside the Walsall half. He's got Adoma up against him. And Adoma has seen all those tricks before, and he nicks the ball off McCarmer, and they've got it back. Clips it along now, Albert Adoma. Cordoba cuts it out. Norwich have got it back. What a clever turn that is from Matson on halfway. Gives it to Jacob Wright. Stacey wants it played into his path. He steers it out to the right-hand side. And Jurasek, a clever turn from Jurasek to get away from Weir. Catches up with the ball now. Plays the ball in early. Slimani helps it on. And with his back to goal, McCarmer controls, shoots and scores! That's 3-0. That should be Norwich through to the fourth round. And that is a trademark Jovan McCarmer finish. Used his strength to make sure he got to the ball first. And then finished clinically. It's his second. And it's Norwich City 3, Walsall 0.
Wow. You mean there, like he showed a fantastic attacking play, strength, ability to shield the ball, and then with his back to goal, just twist and turn and hit an unbelievable strike into the low strike into the bottom of the corner. Fantastic goal from a player that's, I mean, all the superlatives that we're using for him at the moment. He's certainly turning it on today. So what that does, though, I think it gives the manager, like, any apprehension he had coming out to the second half. It kills Walsall off. Any fight back that you thought they were going to have, that goal kills them off. So now it gives the manager a chance maybe to give some minutes to players that he wants to see some more on. But listen, if I was a Norwich player playing out there today and whatever, like, it would be 30 minutes now, 35 minutes of just basically not show ponies, but being to show what we can do and the ability. And like I say, it was a fantastic goal again.
And the two players involved in the build-up, Jurasek and Slimani. Here's Kanu, though, for Walsall, who may change their approach now because it's the FA Cup. No point trying to hang on to anything now as Harper crosses from the left-hand side. And there's a header there from Kanu that's made its way into the Norwich 6-yard box. Didn't really get hold of it, and Cordoba's able to hook it away. That third Norwich goal might just bring this game to life a little bit, because Walsall, I think, at 2-0 we're going to sit back and see if they can find a way back into it, but no point now, is there?
No, absolutely. So, I mean, the manager would have said to him, listen, go out, don't concede in the first 20 minutes, and you never know, we get a goal, we've got to have a chance of getting back in today. That puts Norwich further away from him. But I think Norwich now, well, I've said, like, yeah, go and play and go and show and go and turn on the style. They need to come off this pitch. For me, they need to come up with a clean sheet. That would be a great afternoon if they come off with a clean sheet now.
Yeah. Everybody always wants that little bit more, don't they? But understandably.
No, absolutely. And like you said, we've only had 2 this season as well. So go and show what you can do offensively, but also show that you can be determined and don't switch off. You've got to keep that concentration on. OK, Walsall are not the best opponents, but listen, if you give them a chance, they've still got a chance to score. So as a defender, right, listen, my swan song today is coming off this pitch with a clean sheet.
Matson plays the ball towards the Walsall penalty area, cut out by Farquharson, who will bring it away. But Matson is keeping him pinned back on his edge of his own penalty area, then wins the ball, then is brought down. That is superb from Matson. Norwich are 3-0 up in the cup tie, and even then he's just not letting Farquharson just bring the ball away.
Again, Chris, as well, this player's becoming a top player now in that midfield area as well. The aggression and the determination that he shows in every game. And like you say, you could maybe forgive him today to not show that desire, but listen, I love him. To be fair, he comes and shows in a game that's probably won now. He's still got the determination to win possession and win free kicks.
Free kick to Norwich, corner of the penalty area. McCarmer now has 7 goals in 7 games. He's got 8 in 11 under Philippe Clement.
Talk about a manager that brings out the best of the player. Believes in him, shows you a bit of belief. Arm around the shoulder, go out and do it for me. And he's certainly doing that at the moment.
He's now sniffing a hat-trick in the penalty area, trying to get on the end of a free kick from the corner of the box, which Crescene and Wright will stand over. Left corner of the area for Norwich. Everyone back for Walsall. Jacob Wright with the delivery. It's headed up in the air by Charlie Lakin. Collected again, though, by Wright on the left-hand side. Terrific control, and he's won a corner for Norwich City, who don't look as if they're going to take the foot off the gas here. 3-0 up, 6 minutes gone in the second half. And, we saw Jurasek and Slimani involved in that third goal as well. They're 2 players who I think have pushed their cause today.
No, absolutely. They could have done no more today. The managers asked them to go out and show, and they've certainly done that in the first half, in the first 5 minutes of this half, definitely.
Corner Norwich City then. In front of the Snake Pit, that bit of Carrow Road between the City stand and the Barclay stand. Blustery, chilly afternoon. Short corner played by Wright to Matson. Back to Wright with a chance to send the cross in. A fierce cross. It's come off a defender and gone behind. And that will be another Norwich City corner, as they look to try and just add further gloss to this performance in the FA Cup. Looked like a real banana skin with just 29 league places between the two sides, but Norwich have looked 2 divisions better than their opponents today. Up until now, they've got a 3-goal lead. Can they add to it further? Wright gets ready with this right-footed corner from the left-hand side. You can see the corner flag just flapping around, being buffeted by the breeze as he delivers it in towards the near post. Chris Goran's header, flicked behind, came off a defender, and we've settled into one of these patterns that we saw before half-time, where Norwich have now won 8 corners, but 5 of them were in a 2-minute spell before half-time, and the other 3 have been now.
And what you see, there's variation in the taking of the corner kick, which is good to see. Good movement in the box as well.
But really, they've had so many corners now, you'd like to think that one of them will lead to an opportunity. Jacob Wright again gets ready with the corner. With his right foot from the left-hand side, delivers into the Walsall penalty area. Chris Goran's header! Oh, straight at the keeper. Did well there, got good contact on it, just glanced it on. And the keeper, Miles Roberts, makes a comfortable save. Walsall have already beaten 2 teams to get to this stage, Eastleigh and Gateshead. 2 games against non-league opposition where they were the favourites, trying to avoid the upset. Poor header away there from Cordoba. Adoma meets it and loops the ball up in the air, and it's an easy catch for Grimshaw, but it's a rare bit of goalkeeping for him to do. 3-0 Norwich. Here's Jack Stacey. Lays the ball off to Jurasek. Play forward there towards Slimani, but not a particularly good pass from Jurasek. Not his best bit of work this afternoon. And Walsall have got it back now with Yellis playing the ball out towards the left-hand side. It's a really poor pass out for a throw into Norwich City. So 3-0 to Norwich City. We've got Rob Newman watching this one with us, FA Cup semi-finalist with Norwich. Another change being made now here by Walsall. They're taking off Priestley Farquharson, who was completely caught out a moment ago by Matson, and it is going to be number 33 Rico Brown who will come on. He was in the Tamworth team. He was on loan at Tamworth last season, Rico Brown. You might remember they beat Huddersfield in the first round on their way to playing Tottenham. He wasn't involved when they played Tottenham, but he did play in an FA Cup upset last season. I don't think he's going to today unless Walsall pull off the most incredible of comebacks. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Norwich City are in control of the game. They lead by 3-0. Matson plays it forward on the left-hand side. Krisene's made a good run into the penalty area. Lays it off. Makama for the hat-trick. He's got it! Jovan Makama steers in his 3rd goal. He has an FA Cup hat-trick set up by Krisene. And 10 minutes into the second half, Norwich City are running away with this one. Jovan Makama's good form continues. He's now up to 8 goals in his last 7 games. And he has a Norwich City hat-trick. The Canaries 4, Walsall 0.
No, really good play. First and foremost from Matson, winning the ball, bringing it forward, playing a delightful weighted pass to Krisene, who's had the intelligence to pick out Makama. One touch to control, second one just to pass it into the far corner. Really, really pleased for Makama today. He's played well today. Maybe out of position because he's played up front for the last few games and whatever when Sargent's been available. So playing out wide, you know what I mean? But he's got his hat trick. He can put that ball on the, hopefully it's the first of many, put it on the shelf of his house. So, no, really, really pleased. And that's game over for me now, Chris.
Elsewhere, Sheffield United 1, Mansfield 4. Now, I've got a job here for Rob and Phil, ahead of Canary Call, because I don't know the answer. Maybe someone listening can help. Last FA Cup hat-trick by a Norwich City player. Do you know what? I didn't even think to look that up before we came to the game today, Rob. I don't know the answer. I'm racking my brains. Last time a Norwich player scored a hat-trick in the FA Cup, because Norwich haven't won a lot of cup ties recently. Poulton Rovers, I'm thinking, when they knocked out non-league Poulton, Chris Martin got 4. I'm thinking that might be the one. But that was in the first round. So that's the one that springs to mind immediately. But we'll see as the ball is played forward there for Jurasek. Harper back defending and doing a good job, but it was a foul by Jurasek. The assistant eventually flags. Yeah, when Norwich had that season in League One, in the first round they got drawn against non-league Poulton, and that was live on TV because everybody thought it was going to be a bit of a Macclesfield Crystal Palace situation, but Norwich won 7-0. Chris Martin got 4, didn't he? So I think that's probably the last time.
Gotta be.
I'm trying to think. Someone, if I'm wrong, someone will get in touch and tell us on our usual text numbers and on social media as well, but I'm thinking that's the last Norwich FA Cup hat-trick. Oh no, Adam Eder against Preston. Yes, Adam Eder scored it. It's more recently than I thought. Adam Eder got a hat-trick against Preston in 2020. That was in the 3rd round as well.
Quite common then, really.
Yeah, well, more common than I thought. Yeah, good thinking, everybody. Adam Eder scored a hat-trick against Preston And Norwich, that was the year Norwich eventually went on to play Tottenham in the 5th round. That was away from home. In a minute I'll get them to work out the last hat-trick at Carrow Road in the FA Cup. Here's Jurasek on the right hand side, level with the penalty area, going outside his man, getting tackled by Harper. Ball goes behind, they both appeal, and the decision is goal kick. 4-0 to Norwich City. Yeah, if anyone knows the last one at Carrow Road, I'll be impressed. Changes, 2 changes being made for Norwich City here. They're 4-0 up, and I think it's not very often during our Norwich City coverage we can sit back at this point and say, right, let's just enjoy the rest of this game. Jovan Makama is going to get a good ovation here for the Norwich fans who have turned up for this one, because he was already becoming a bit of a favourite at Carrow Road, and now he has a hat-trick, and he is going to be replaced here by Oscar Schwartau. What a performance again from Makama.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Put the ball, well done young man as well. Like I say, for a lad that's started the season probably as the number 2 to Sargent, now the manager's just having a quiet word in his ear. Listen, son, I'm taking you off for your own good. You've scored a hat-trick. Get yourself rested and get ready for next weekend's game, because like I say, he's going to be needed in the next few games and up to the end of the season, because he's certainly put not only a shift in today, but what he's done today, he showed that he can score goals for more quality. So no, really, really good afternoon work for him.
And Medic has come on from McConville as well. Here's Cresceni, who set up that goal that completed Makama's hat-trick. Gives it to Schwartau this time on the corner of the box. Schwartau sees Jack Stacey arriving 25 yards from goal, into the feet of Jurasek. Played all the way back to Medic, who's just come on from McConville. And now Cordoba. Norwich fans not happy that Norwich didn't have a shot there when they got up the pitch. They might now. Here's Slimani. Can't make the ball stick though on the edge of the Walsall penalty area, and the League 2 side in their red and black striped shirts have got the ball back, and Rico Brown, who's just come on, hurries the ball out of play for a throw in. I mean, Makama he's only 21. What I like about him the most is when he gets a chance, they're just dispatched with a minimum of fuss. He's usually quite a clean striker of the ball, but the 2 goals he's got in this second half have just been finished with such confidence, haven't they? He's in a vein of form at the moment where it looks like he's not even really thinking about it. It's pure instinct.
But I think good strikers do that, Chris. You know what I mean? Like, so when they are in confidence, they just think they can score all the time as well. But you know what I mean, they've got to have the ability to hit a crisp shot towards the goal. And like you say, the goals he scored today have been really, really good.
3 of them, and it's Norwich 4, Walsall 0. Here's Stacey on the right hand side, gives it to Jacob Wright. Now it'll be collected by Cordoba, and the Olays have started for the Norwich City supporters. Fair play to Norwich at the start of the second half, because 2-0 up at half time, and you just thought that if Walsall could get a corner or perhaps sneak a goal back, score from a corner at the start of the second half, then no matter what had gone before, the doubts would resurface for a team that had been struggling. But no, Norwich have picked up from where they left off. They've really tackled this one professionally. Scored 2 goals with Makama in the first 11 minutes of the second half, and that has effectively killed the tie off. An hour gone, Norwich City 4, Walsall 0. Here's Medic, who's only featured twice under Philippe Clement. Gives the ball to Jacob Wright, and now Stacey on the right hand side. Medic again takes possession, plays it short to Cordoba, and it goes on to Pelle Matson. Cresceni on the left hand side, forward to Slimani, who's been busy. Rare appearance for him in the Norwich first team this season. Goes forward, gets tackled, and it's gone out of play for Norwich player for a Walsall throw in. Difficult now for Walsall, isn't it? They've got some big games ahead of them, because they want to get promoted. They've lost 3 players this week who've been recalled by their parent clubs because they're on loan. They don't want to fall away like they did last season.
No, absolutely. But like I say, it's been a good occasion for him to come here today, and it's basically shown that there is a golfing class between Championship sides and Division 2 sides. And I mean, they can go away. They've had a decent cup run as well, but listen, they've been well and truly put in their place so far. So hopefully Norwich can continue in that vein of form for the remainder of this match. And like I say, it's important for Norwich to keep their foot on the pedal, keep passing the ball quickly, positively, but most importantly, like I say, it's probably the defender coming out of me. Don't allow Walsall any opportunities to score a goal.
Medic finds Cordoba just inside the Walsall half. Cordoba probing, gets the ball out to the left wing, where Schwartau steps inside. Fresh pair of legs from Schwartau, reverse pass towards Slimani, cleared away before he could get there, and Jealous has put it out of play for a Norwich throw on the left hand side. Thrown short to Pelle Matson. Norwich's next game is at Wrexham on Saturday in the league. You can hear that one with us on BBC Radio Norfolk. Stacey laying the ball off to right. Now it's Svartau 20 yards out. Maatsen takes over. He hits one. The goalkeeper pushes it aside. Comfortable save from Roberts in the end, but Pelle Maatsen looking for his first Norwich City goal. And the Canaries have got a corner there. But the foot isn't coming off the gas here, is it?
No, I don't think the manager will want to do that. You mean, like say at the beginning of the game, players are trying to secure places in future games. So the manager will be looking as deeply now as when it was 0-0. So he'll be looking for attitudes and commitment of players on that pitch for the remainder of this match.
Corner, Norwich City. Jacob Wright to take with his right foot from the left-hand side. Everybody back, as you'd expect, for Walsall. The furthest outfield player back for Norwich is Jack Stacey, and he's only about 35 yards from the Walsall goal. Wright's corner, bent in towards the near post. Header from Cordoba, didn't quite make good contact with it. Svartau tees up Jurasek, who puts it back towards the far post. Header there from Medic. Oh, just wide. Well, Medic's last goal last season was for Bochum against Bayern Munich. Can't be many teams who've scored successive goals against Bayern Munich and then Walsall. But he wasn't too far away.
No,
there.
he wasn't too far. But what I like about that was the delicious ball in from Jurasek as well. Just waited to the far post. Bit disappointed, probably got a good head on it, and where I tried to steer it into the bottom corner, but just shaved the far post.
I mean, you can almost pick whatever you like from this game, can't you? Because even those players who've done well, there will be supporters saying, yeah, but it's only against League Two opposition. But in terms of being out there, you've seen other cup ties go astray for other teams this weekend.
You just mentioned the result, Sheffield United, Mansfield.
4-1 to Mansfield, yeah. Goes to show.
These games are not easy, Chris. I mean, you just have to show, and I think I've been really impressed with Norwich's attitude towards this game.
Medic on halfway for Norwich City. Shields the ball from Adoma, who came on at half-time at 2-0. Hoping to try and help Walsall back into the game. They're now 4-0 down. 2 more from Makama at the start of this second half. Here's Maatsen trying to burrow forward, doing really well to hold off the challenge there of Jelis. And it's played back towards the halfway line in Cordoba. And now here's Jakub Medic, the defender, who had that header goalwards a minute or two ago. Jacob Wright now arrows the ball out to the left wing and finds Crisene, who one touch knocks it into the path of Svartau. Level with the Walsall penalty area. Gets tackled by Rico Brown, who's just come on. He plays it long and it fades away, and I think we'll go out for a throw into Norwich City, and it does. So Norwich still got 25 minutes to go, and they're 4-0 up on this FA Cup third round day. They'll be in the draw for the fourth round, which is tomorrow evening, ahead of Liverpool's game against Barnsley, which rounds off a busy few days of FA Cup third round action. Norwich now with Maatsen, finding Crisene on the left hand side. Crisene up quickly to Slimani, gets it rather stuck under his feet, and it's cleared away. And Norwich will build again here with Cordoba. He's given it away to Carnu. Now this could be a rare opportunity for Walsall. Carnu up towards the edge of the Norwich penalty area. Jacob Wright has done well to stay with him, but Carnu crosses against Wright. It goes behind, and Walsall have got what they've been waiting for, a corner. We thought they might cause Norwich issues from set pieces. They've got a good record of scoring from set pieces in League Two. They're 4-0 down. It's taken them 65 minutes, but they've got a chance here just to ask a question.
And again, casual play from Cordoba. I mean, like I was just saying, the manager will be looking at individual performances from now to the end of the game, and he won't like what he saw there. He was under no pressure at all, but just casually gave the ball away and allowed Walsall an opportunity to win a corner and put the ball in a dangerous area, which we know they're pretty impressive at.
And you've got Maatsen at the moment, who's trying to pick up Aidan Flint, who is 6'6". And that is not a fair contest as he comes to the far post. But the corner played in from the right-hand side by Evan Weir. Goalkeeper Grimshaw comes and gets a fist on it. But it comes to the left wing now for Harper, who's got a chance to put a high ball back into the danger zone. Header down. Cordoba's there to clear it away for Norwich City. First bit of difficult goalkeeping Grimshaw's had to do.
Don't think he got a full fist on that. We got enough on it to get it away and send the ball wide.
Yeah, and now Walsall have got Harper involved on the left-hand side. Not back here to Clark, who came on at half-time. Grappling with Wright, holding off Wright and stepping inside here. That's a good little turn from Clark. Edge of the penalty, curling effort. It's a fantastic goal for Walsall. Courtney Clark off the bench at half-time. Beat Jacob Wright, cut in, curled the ball in from the edge of the penalty area. Norwich's hopes of a clean sheet have gone, but they still lead by 4-1. A terrific goal from Courtney Clark.
Fantastic finish, but poor play from Norwich. I think there was about not only Jacob Wright, but there was another couple around him as well. There's 3 or 4 players around him on the edge of the pitch. Jacob Wright cuts inside. Fantastic strike. Grimshaw maybe be a bit disappointed going in there. I think he got close enough to it to push it around the post. A fantastic finish.
Well, we said the Norwich goalkeeper might want an opportunity to impress. Actually, the last couple of minutes he has been put under pressure, and he's
not dealt with them in a good fashion.
I mean, that was a lovely finish from Courtney Clark, but it's frustrating. I think you're right from Philip Clement's point of view, because Norwich have struggled for clean sheets this season. He would really have loved one today. I saw Albert Adoma go and get the ball out of the back of the net quickly, as if he thinks actually Walsall can still give this a go.
I don't think that's going to happen. But like you say, it's just, again, we're starting to, they're getting sloppy now. They like ball going out of play under no pressure, losing control and whatever. Like, so they have to get their heads right again, get the concentration, and get it back to where they were before they conceded the goal.
They found him in non-league football. He signed from Eastbourne Borough, Courtney Clark, in June. He's with South Shields before that. And it looks like he may well be on the losing side on FA Cup third round day, but he's just had a bit of an FA Cup memory to remember there. Really good goal at Carrow Road. Wright gives it to Schwartau. Schwartau through the middle for Norwich City. He's got Quisgarden available in the penalty. Quisgarden back across goal, cut out by Flint, and should be cleared now by Jellis, who's played the ball back to his goalkeeper, and Roberts, the keeper, clears it up towards halfway. Adoma takes the touch, gives it to Clark, who will be flying after that goal he scored a minute ago. On the left-hand side again, shows Jack Stacey a clean pair of heels. Getting forward on the left wing, Stacey recovers well and gets the challenge in. Walsall now think they might be able to make a bit more of an entertaining game now, having got one back.
It's given them belief. It's given them belief, because at the end of the day, it's all been Norwich for all of this match, really, to be fair. So to score a goal like that, you've got to have belief whenever there's enough minutes in the game to get back in it. But like I say, it's important for Norwich now to regain control of this match.
Medic takes matters into his own hands, gets as far as the halfway line, loses possession. Jurasek strong in the challenge there against Charlie Lakin. Plays it short to Matson. Two more Walsall subs are being readied. 4-1 Norwich lead this FA Cup third round day. Canary call after the match on BBC Radio Norfolk. You can watch along as well with Rob Newman and Rob Butler. bbc.co.uk/Norfolk. Rob Newman slightly critical of Dan Grimshaw from the goal, and we've got a commentator with us today who has kept goal for Norwich City in a league game.
Listen, I'm no expert on goalkeepers, so I'm not going to judge any goalkeeper. Trust me.
Here's Crescente laying it off to Slimani. Slimani to Jurasek, 25 yards out, central position, gives it back to Slimani. Slimani gets into the penalty area, still going, runs into a crowd of players. It's not a particularly good clearance though, not convincing at all. Picked up by Schwartau on the left-hand side to Crescente, who rolls it along the edge of the penalty area for Slimani. Now Matson 35 yards from goal, exchanges passes with Wright. It goes to Crescente. Now an opportunity for Schwartau to work the ball in field to Pelle Matson, 35 yards from goal. Crescente's in a great position on the left-hand side. Matson finds him. First time cross, cut out. Falls for Schwartau, still in the box. Pivots towards the byline. Cole cuts it back from the left and it's cleared. As far as Pelle Matson, who shoots low, straight at the goalkeeper. Norwich trying to just up it again, having been under a bit of pressure over the last few minutes and letting that goal in. Just remind us the circumstances that put you in goal in a league game for Norwich.
Brian Gunn got sent off at the end of the first half as we were walking off. I think it was a bit of a descent towards the referee. That was...
Oh, hang on. Dan Grimshaw with a poor kick out. He's given it straight to Carnu, whose shot deflects over the top. Well, Norwich are doing their best to make a game of this. It's a corner to Walsall.
But it's all done by their own casualness, basically, the poor play, sloppy play, and giving opportunities to a team that were not in this game 10 minutes ago.
Walsall are making a change. They're taking off Jellis. And Daniel Carnu is going off as well. Alex Patterson is coming on for his debut, having signed from Bradford this week. Did play earlier on in the FA Cup. Alex Patterson for Bradford. He's already been knocked out by Cheltenham once this year, but now they've got rid of the rule where you can be cup tied. So
I didn't know that.
It's a strange one. They've changed it this year, so you can play for two teams in the FA Cup now as long as it's not in the same round. So you couldn't sign. Well, obviously,
you couldn't sign Friday and then transfer Sunday to play Monday.
Yeah, or you couldn't. I'm trying to think. You couldn't exactly if you had a staggered. Because you have replays now either, do you? You couldn't play for. We'll come back to that in a moment. As Weir's corner comes in from the left-hand side, headed away, and then the ball is laid off to Clark, who's already scored once for Walsall in this game. Puts it back into the danger zone, and the header on takes it behind, but it was offside anyway. Yeah, you couldn't play for Norwich today in the third round and then say a match gets postponed, rearranged, and then play in the third round for another team if you move in between. But Patterson's on anyway, and Norwich did have a substitute ready, but I don't think they wanted to make the change while they were defending a corner. And the ball is back with Dan Grimshaw, who actually has had a jittery couple of moments in goal for Norwich City, so probably won't have the clean sheet to show for it. And now Jacob Wright's just been caught in possession deep inside his own half, but Cordoba's alive to the danger, picks it up, gives it to Wright. Still Norwich lead 4-1 with 17 minutes to go. Two more substitutes getting ready for the Canaries. Looks like Springett, Think and Mundell Smith. Crescene up towards the halfway line. Gives it to Jacob Wright. Norwich much better on the front foot. Rather than trying to sit back and hold on to this, they're almost better trying to up the tempo and give Walsall more to think about, go in search of more goals, because when they've sat back and just tried to kill it off, they've been opened up a couple of times.
And I think it's become sort of like a mental thing, really. The game's over, but the game is not over. There's still a good 20 minutes left in this game and whatever, and they don't want to allow Walsall any opportunities to get to a remote chance of getting back into this game. I don't think they will. But like I say, it's really important that Norwich players impress the manager today, and when they do things like that, it's certainly not going to impress the manager.
Schwartau to Wright, back to Schwartau in the penalty area to the left of goal. Just couldn't take it in his stride, and he's fouled Rico Brown in trying to do so. And we're going to get a double change now for Norwich. So this is their third and fourth substitutions of the match. Jurasek, who's got his first Norwich goal today, been involved in at least one of the other goals. He is going to be replaced by Tony Springett, who's going to come on for only the second FA Cup appearance of his career. It looks like Errol Mundell Smith is going to come on as well, and that is for Slimani. And I think Jurasek and Slimani are probably two players who have pushed their cause today. What would you say?
Yeah, no, I think so. All three players that have been substitute, Makama, all three offensive players, Makama, Slimani and Jurasek, they can go off and they can see the manager's giving him a hug there and just saying a few words in his ear, and I think it's all positive because, I mean, the lad was really low on confidence earlier on in the season and whatever, but he's walking off today. And hopefully he's feeling a bit taller, a bit more confident in what he's done today, and quite rightly so. And I think Slimani's putting a good shift as well. So all three of them can go off the pitch and know that they've played a massive part in this performance today and the victory.
Ball's back with Grimshaw, the Norwich goalkeeper. Plays it short to Jack Stacey. 4-1 Norwich lead. Errol Mundell Smith is going to play on the left-hand side. Tony Springett on the right, and here is Springett galloping away from his man inside his own half, gives it to Schwartau. Schwartau now along the right wing to Quiscoren, who catches up with it, level with the Walsall penalty area, finds Springett in the box. Heavy first touch from Springett, but he comes alive and retrieves the ball and then gives it to Quiscoren on this right wing. Quiscoren trying to work the cross, it's deflected and will go behind, will it? No, it looked like it had, but the goalkeeper's gathered it and no corner is given. Springett, who's come on, his only FA Cup appearance was for Derby, in a defeat to West Ham when he was on loan at Derby a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now. And Mundell Smith, who's on 19, this is his sixth appearance for Norwich City, all as a sub, and 5 of those 6 have been under Philippe Clement. Wright goes looking for the ball, doesn't get it. It's with Walsall and their goal scorer Clark. He's got that terrific goal a little while ago, knocks that one over the top there, and the ball is played back to the Norwich goalkeeper. Jamil Matt, the substitute, was chasing it. Prolific scorer, 36 years old now. He's got 99 goals in League Two in his career, Jamil Matt. He's on the field now to try and give Norwich a bit more doubt, but they should get home from here. 4-1 up with 14 minutes to go. And the sting's gone out of it a bit since McCartney was taken off, though. The hat-trick hero for Norwich City today, following in the footsteps of Chris Martin and Adam Eder in recent years. FA Cup hat-tricks for Norwich City. And Norwich are on their way to the fourth round. Ball hit forward there by Cordoba, and Mundell Smith has raced onto the left wing. Here is the young Norwich winger. Brings it to the byline. Tries to cut it back. Goalkeeper parries it and then dives on it at the second attempt. Put it a bit too close to the keeper there, didn't he, the cross there. Mundell Smith.
But you want to see that. You want to see positive play. Mundell Smith on the left-hand side, Springett on the right-hand side. Two young lads coming in and wanting to show their worth, and they've certainly done that when they come on. But like I say, Norwich have just got to finish this game, get the mental strength, get the casualness out of their play and the sloppiness out of their play, and if they win the game 4-1, win the game 4-1. I mean, we're not looking for 5 and 6 and whatever, but what we're looking is to cut out the individual errors that allow Walsall maybe an opportunity to score another goal and think they can get back in the game. And like I say, if they do it here today, there's every chance that he could be doing it in a championship game, which we don't want to see.
Just thinking, with Ali Ahmed having signed, the Canadian who's not in the squad today, that's another winger. So players like Mundell Smith and Springett and Schwartau, they're on the pitch now with another winger in the squad. This is, if they don't catch the eye today, who knows when they'll get another chance, as the ball is played forward to Patterson on his Walsall debut, putting Cordoba under pressure, but the Norwich centre-back seems to have it under control. Panama international, pinned in by his own corner flag on the left-hand side, clears it away. Lakin picks it up on the right-hand side for Walsall, gets through the challenge of Mundell Smith, and it's played back eventually towards Flint on halfway, and now Evan Weir picks out Harper on this left-hand side. He's got room to work with here as Harper brings it forward carefully. Springett then goes to close him down. It's laid off to Clark, Walsall's goal scorer. League Two side trailing 4-1 here at Carrow Road. Laid off there to Weir. He comes forward, gets away from Schwartau. It's a good run this from Weir. Crosses high from the left-hand side. A dome around the back, tries to cut it back, but the ball bounces off his knee really and goes behind for a goal kick. And any hope of Walsall getting another one back with 12 minutes to go. Just fading. Looks like Norwich are going to have a relatively straightforward passage to the fourth round, and a rare Carrow Road FA Cup win there. Only their second since 2012, a rare home FA Cup win for Norwich City. Grimshaw, the goalkeeper, passes the ball out to Cordoba. And Norwich build from the back again. Cordoba hit that one into the feet of Schwartau, but it bounced off Schwartau and was picked up by Walsall. And they come again on the right hand side. Challenge made, and Norwich have cleared the ball away after tackling Bennett, and it's picked up by Stacey on the right hand side. Springett wants it played early. Stacey decides to go alone on this right wing, then gives it to Springett. Springett to right, about 30 yards from goal. Now Matson helps it on to Crescene, who's got forward to good effect in this second half. It's crossed just too high for the stretching Matthias Kvistgaard, and it should be cleared by Walsall. In fact, they'll just settle for a throw in.
Good play, nice sharp passing from Norwich, right to left. Good cross in just above Kvistgaard's head there as well. But that's what you want to see from Norwich. Good positive play.
Kvistgaard, what have you made of him today?
I think he's done well. Yeah. I think he's worked his socks off. Ball's going into him. They've stuck in. He's managed to link play up in the last third of the pitch. And listen, it's another positive performance for me. And the manager, I think, will go in and say, listen, he's done really, really well today.
Yeah, he's not scored the goals that McCarmer has, so won't take the headlines, but there's a bit more than just scoring goals when you're that lone centre forward, isn't it? A lot of it is about linking the play.
Absolutely, and I think what it showed, McCarmer can score goals from wide areas as well. And if Sargent isn't playing, you've got someone there, and I think he's, because of his size and whatever, like if you're a big tall centre half and whatever, like you maybe take him a bit lightly, but he's certainly worked his socks off today. And like I say, what I've liked today is his link-up play as well. And
Mundell Smith, nearly getting away on the left-hand side, but it's a good, robust challenge from Evan Weir in the end. You heard that big boom as both players' boots met the ball at the same time. Kvistgaard now chasing the ball back towards halfway, but Clark has got the pass away to Harper on the Walsall left, still full of running, gets deep into Norwich territory, crosses, Springett blocks it, and it's out of play for a throw-in. Tony Springett's return to the first team picture under Philippe Clement has been really enjoyed by the Norwich fans. He revealed to us just before Christmas that he had spinal surgery while he'd been out injured for 18 months or so. I think the fact he's come in since then and given everything to the Norwich cause.
Yeah, and there's little things like that, like and big things in the manager's eyes, being prepared to chase back in stop crosses.
Long throw for Walsall. Evan Weir sends it into the penalty area, headed on by Jamil Matt. Stacey sees it away for another throw in. We had Priestley Farquharson on in the first half, testing Norwich out with some long throws. We're going to see Evan Weir in this second half. 19,776, decent crowd that for FA Cup third round day. Down on what you'd expect from a league game, but still a good crowd. Evan Weir launches another long throw in into the Norwich penalty area. Stacey meets it again and clears it away. Weir tees up Clark, left corner of the penalty area, sort of position on the pitch where he scored from. Gives it back to Evan Weir. Norwich lead 4-1, but Walsall putting a dangerous cross into the penalty area. Right should clear for Norwich. Not really got hold of that, and Kvistgaard's had to come back and help out defensively, and he's taken a shove in the back, and that takes the pressure off his team. I think that's exactly what you were talking
absolutely. about. Absolutely, opportunities like that, prepared to go back and put his body on the line and win free kicks as well. I mean, it's really important that players do that, and I think, like I say, he's done that well today.
Medic for Norwich City, edge of his own penalty area. Lays it off to Jack Stacey. Stacey now to Jacob Wright. And here's Ben Crescenny on the left-hand side for Norwich City. Infield to Pella Matson. Matson to Wright. On to Schwartau. Moves it into the path of young Mundell Smith on the left-hand side. He cuts in and plays it to Jacob Wright, who will just give it back to Crescenny. And then Norwich keeping the ball confidently inside Walsall territory. 4-1 up with just over 7 minutes to go. Here's Jacob Wright, 25 yards out. He's going to hit one, charge down. Didn't really get any more than 3 or 4 yards before it was blocked. Wright hasn't scored yet for Norwich City, almost a year since he signed for the club. There's another Norwich change coming by the looks of it. See somebody getting ready over on that far side. Here's Jacob Wright for Norwich City. Up towards Schwartau, tackled well by Patterson, who's just come on for Walsall for his debut. And here's Flint on the edge of his own penalty area, giving it to Evan Weir. And the Saddlers from League 2 will look to come forward again, but Jacob Wright cutting that ball out. Jamil Matt, the striker, saw the issue, got back into midfield and made sure that Norwich couldn't break quickly on Walsall there. Good play. Still 4-1 to Norwich City. Stacey now up on halfway, putting Courtney Clark under pressure, winning the ball. Jacob Wright then goes to win it and does well to get it up here towards Chris Goran. Schwartau has made a run in front of him. Chris Goran though settles for the shorter pass to Mundell Smith, who bursts into the penalty area from the left hand side. 2 defenders for company. Mundell Smith, he manages to hold them off and keep possession. He's done well to move it to Crescenny. His cross, Chris Goran not far away with the header, and it should be cleared away, but it's going to fall for Crescenny, who takes it into the area, hits a low shot, and it's just wide. He's got forward to really good effect, hasn't he, Crescenny?
I think he's done well today. I think he's done well overall today, really. So good quality going forward, putting some decent crosses in. That was the same there. Again, Kisco just going over Kisco and showing the ability to swing his right foot and just past the post.
Liam Gibbs coming on for only his second appearance under Philippe Clement. He's had a few injury problems in recent months. He is going to replace Jacob Wright. I think Wright, we've seen him in the number 10 role in championship games recently. Today he played further back, and I think he's had a good game.
Yeah, no, he's done well, and like I said, showed the versatility which the manager will like. I watched the game against Southampton where he played really well in that number 10 position, but he also showed today, again with sort of like in that number 6 areas, that he's got the ability to control games back there as well.
What was just perhaps culpable for the Walsall goal.
Yeah, maybe he could have done better. Yeah. You mean, like I say, he was out there one-on-one, allowed the opponent to cut inside, and showed a lack of strength basically as well. But I think overall, it's being asked, criticised.
It was a good goal as well.
It was a fantastic strike, but no, overall, I think he's done well today.
5 minutes to go. Norwich lead by 4 goals to 1. And since Clark scored, I've got a bit of heavy rain just falling in now. Just make a few supporters wonder about how soaked they're going to get on the way back to the car. But they've been royally entertained today on FA Cup third round day. It's not felt like a distraction from Norwich City's championship survival battle. It's felt like a match that's been relished by the Canaries, and certainly by Jovan Makama, who scored a hat-trick, with Jurasek getting his first goal for the club as well.
I think it's also showed there's a gulf between the teams, and we were worried about that to a degree before the match started and whatever. But Norwich just put on a performance today that said, listen, we are better than Walsall. We should be better than Walsall, but we've proved that today with this performance, and hopefully it can act as a springboard for the next few games in the championship as well. Stacey
on the right hand side just works one in behind, or at least that was the idea on the right hand side. Harper getting back there to deal with it for Walsall, and Spring it just caught him. Walsall were in possession anyway, but the referee, Edward Duckworth, who's obviously not a man you messed with. I was looking at his record of red cards. He sent off 4 players this season, but a couple of seasons ago he sent off Jordan Rhodes.
Did he?
But Jordan Rhodes, as far as I can tell, is one of the nicest men ever in football. So how he managed to send him off, I don't know. A player that Norwich had for a season on loan. Didn't look like he was capable of doing anything to get sent off.
No. But I think what the ref's done today is he's allowed some challenges, proper old-fashioned challenges. There's been some crushing tackles and whatever, like, especially from Walsall and whatever, like. But I like a referee that's allowed, as long as it's a fair challenge, he will allow the play to continue.
Yeah, it's probably not been the most difficult game he's ever had to referee either.
I agree.
Been well contested. Norwich in control of it, leading by 4 goals to 1. As we head towards stoppage time. Here's Mundell Smith trying a trick at a turn on halfway and getting a throw in. 3 minutes to go. Norwich City 4, Walsall 1. Don't forget the scrimmage tomorrow night. Phil Daly and Chris Reeve will be looking back at this game and anything else that might occur between now and then. Maybe there'll be some transfer news, who knows? We wait, the transfer window's open. think there was a little bit of disquiet for Norwich fans that it is just the one signing so far, Ali Ahmed. I think they were hoping that a few more deals might be ready to go. But if you want to ask Rob Newman about that, with his history as someone in charge of recruitment in football, he's really interesting to hear your thoughts on that when we get into Canary Call. You can watch along, bbc.co.uk/Norfolk, but Norwich just trying to see this one out now, leading by 4-1 against League 2 Walsall with a couple of minutes to go. We'll hear from Philippe Clement at full time. I say we may well get a word with the hat-trick hero as well. I mean, I know players aren't always keen to speak to the media, but when you've got a hat-trick, presumably, that's... No,
and quite really so. He should be shouting from the rooftops today.
Spring it, right-hand side for Norwich City. Just on halfway. Lays it off to Liam Gibbs, the most recent Norwich substitute there. 5th and final change. Good pass from Gibbs to Cresceni on the left-hand side. He's got forward well. Errol Mundle-Smith is in front of him. Mundle-Smith takes on his man, delivers the cross. It's deflected behind, and Norwich have got a corner. They had a flurry of corners at the end of the first half. If you are just joining us, Norwich 1-0 up after 15 minutes with Mate Jurasic's first for the club. Makama scored a second after 25 minutes, and then at the start of the second half, 2 quick goals from Jovan Makama. Norwich 4-0 up. Walsall have since pulled one back with a cracker from Courtney Clark, but the result has not really looked in doubt for a long time. Norwich have got a corner in front of the Barclay end to try and finish with a flourish. Liam Gibbs, having just come on, is going to take it. Clips it in towards the near post. Oh, header from Mundle-Smith is blocked. Spring it with the chance. Can he get the shot in? He's gone down. Was he pushed? It's no penalty. It is a foul in the end by Cordova. And it's a free kick to Walsall in their own penalty area. First I thought Mundle-Smith was going to get his first for Norwich, and then I thought Spring it might.
Absolutely. I don't think the penalty Spring has gone over too easy. And I don't think Mundle-Smith was...
he didn't seem to be too far away from that, Mundle-Smith. It was a good spring at the near post, but...
Literally just went over his head and whatever. Showed a bit more... desire to get his head to the ball and whatever, but listen, it was a great delivery from the corner as well, and I think Spring it went over too easy.
I think he was actually already halfway down before any challenge was made. That was the problem there. Cordova, I think, has been caught in the face there in trying to keep the ball in the Walsall penalty area, so he's going to need some running repairs. There's no point taking any chances, but we've got 20 seconds to go plus the stoppage time. We'll hear from Philippe Clement after the game. He'll update us. I think
he'd be happy overall with what's gone on today. I mean, like I say, it was a potential banana skin. I think he would have wanted to see certain attributes from certain players today, and I think he's seen it. I think there's been some really positive performances. Yeah, okay, the opposition are not as strong as they face every weekend in the Championship, but you've still got to do it. Walsall are in the upper echelons of their league, so they thought they could come over and turn Norwich City over, but they've certainly not done that, and that's all credit to Norwich City. So I think the manager, when he analyses this game today, he'll be pretty pleased with what he's seen.
I think you're right, because there are 2 divisions between the sides, but I do think in the wider footballing world, if Norwich had lost this game to Walsall today, I don't think too many people would have batted an eyelid. They would have looked at it and gone, well, that's there's only 29 places between the sides.
No, absolutely, I totally agree.
It wouldn't have been the most.
No.
It wouldn't have been the biggest cup
shot.
No, it actually wouldn't have been. But Norwich have made sure there's been no chance for shock. So Cordova's off the field. Walsall are playing on. Matsson's filled in at centre back, and there he is, picking the ball up for Norwich, finding Quiscoren on halfway. Quiscoren clearly dragged back there by Charlie Lakin, and Quiscoren went down in a way to make sure the referee knew that he'd been dragged back.
And I think that's a sign of a good striker as well. You mean he's prepared to come off. He's not only sort of like received the ball into feet under pressure as well, but he's won the foul as well. So he's got great strength as well for someone who's not the tallest and not the biggest as well. But overall, I think his performance has been really good today.
Cordova's back on. Here comes Spring it on the right-hand side for Norwich. Dives between 2 players, and it falls kindly for him. Spring it, edge of the penalty area for Norwich City. Tees up Shvar Tau, who's 25 yards out. He's got players tightly marking him. It's quickly played to Spring it. In the box, he shoots, and it's deflected away. And it'll be a throw-in. They seem to want Spring it to score now.
Yeah, no, that would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it, if Mundle-Smith or Spring it? But he was unlucky there. Good defending, good block from the Walsall defender. But certainly trying to score a goal is Spring it.
Yeah, really good. Really infectious personality, Tony Spring. He seems equally popular with his teammates as he is the Norwich supporters. Gibbs plays one through to Spring it. Tony Spring it's in for Norwich. Off the post and in. Tony Spring it has his first Norwich City goal, picked out by Liam Gibbs. He rolled the ball past the goalkeeper, and then in slow motion it hit the post, it rebounded in, and it's hard to think of a more popular goal scorer. He's being mobbed by his teammates. There's a big smile on Philippe Clement's face. Norwich have got a fifth, and it's a big moment for Tony Springett. His first goal for Norwich. They lead 5-1.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic ball from Liam Gibbs there. Drilled the ball in. Great first touch from Springett, who had to compose himself and just put a left-hand shot past the keeper into the far corner. Went off the pit. But listen, that is the icing on the cake there as well. Done really well since he's come on, and yeah, no, great through ball from Liam Gibbs, to be fair as well. But the first touch in the finish from Springett was top class.
The way they celebrated that goal, the Norwich players, do you think he'd just put them in front of the quarter-final with a few minutes to go? But he's been through so much. He told us his story when we spoke to him up at Deepdale a few weeks ago. He's had spinal surgery, he's been really low, and here comes Mundell Smith for Norwich City. He's on an amazing run up to the edge of the penalty area, shoots low, straight at the goalkeeper. That was a terrific run. We were just saying, weren't we, it looked like they were desperate for Springett to score.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and like you say, the smile on the manager's face. The manager's put him into the squad, give him a lot of minutes since he's been in as well. So listen, the manager must believe in him as well, and that will only give him more confidence as well. But the smile on her face just says it all.
I think that's the happiest I've seen Philippe Clement look after a goal since he arrived at Norwich City. Here's Adoma trying to get forward on the right hand side for Walsall. He's won a corner off Cordoba, so in the FA Cup you've got to keep going right until the last. There were 4 minutes for stoppage time signalled. We've still got about 20 seconds of that to go, and Walsall have got a corner and a chance for them to try and just finish with something for their supporters who've made the journey, hoping that they might be on the right end of an FA Cup shot today, but not so. Tony Springett's goal in off the post, making it 5-1 for Norwich City at Carrow Road. Corner to Walsall. Evan Weir will take it with his left foot from the right hand side. Another tester here for the Norwich goalkeeper Grimshaw as it's curled in. Chris Goran's up to head it away. Harper puts it back in the penalty area. Headed away again by Chris Goran, and the referee picks the ball up. And he'll have to remember to give that to Joe von Makama later on, because he's blown his final whistle.